Live, I'm Someday Ladrono, silly cynical asshole, and welcome to the Batman stream. Sorry, I haven't streamed in a while, but just not in the mood. But I'm back in the mood today. We're starting on Sunday now, to work on my work schedule. And these are the only people who will talk to me. So anyway, here's Gumby, Smug, Soggy, and J Step, and yeah, we're here to talk Batman, the most easily one of the greatest, but also overrated superheroes of all time. People even argue
the main reason DC Comics is still in existence.
Well, until
possibly one of the most versatile characters in history.
Also, like, yeah, he's until they make him bi, of course. Like that's
you can do pretty much anything with a character, and it'll somehow make sense. But I swear to God, like, I just want to get out in front of this. If you try to make Bruce Wayne bisexual or gay in any way, just get fucked.
Like, not him. Nightwing, maybe.
Yeah, it was funny when it was a joke, but now people are taking it seriously.
I'm actually very against any character's sexuality being changed.
I mean,
I understand some people being like, "Oh yeah, but they can understand more about themselves." No, I don't.
Like, here's the thing: they already did this with Tim Drake, and I'm just like, okay, what does this add though? Like, they literally introduced a new character who played no reason into the plot just to confirm that. Tim Drake is gay.
Yeah,
Tim is bi. I'm like, even though he's
they
famously
broke up Tim and Stephanie.
Yeah,
I quote this from Tim himself verbatim. I broke up with my girlfriend for no reason. This is an actual thing he said.
Welcome to modern day DC Comics. We totally suck and have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, I just find it hilarious, man, that they think this is somehow gonna make. Plus they already made gay Batman.
It's not like they're getting. It's not like they're getting gay or bisexual, actual gay and bisexual writers to write an Elseworld story.
I mean, here's
alternative story.
Here's the thing, though, Soggy.
That'd be more interesting.
I'm gonna be real.
Or they're doing it.
No, they did that for Marvel, and it was disastrous. It was absolutely awful.
Of course it's going to be disastrous, because when you do that with the goal of doing some sort of representation or doing activism or brownie points or any sort of political statements, and you're trying to do that as your goal instead of trying to actually tell a good story about well-developed characters, you're going to fail. It's going to look like garbage. It's going to sound like garbage, and anybody who is not a shill is going to understand that it sucks.
Here's the thing, and also you can, like I said, you have characters that people can relate to another. Like, for instance, I remember this one person on Twitter, they literally had an entire thread on why making She-Hulk basically She-Hulk with tits now, because thanks Jason Aaron. Basically said what's a bad thing, because he said it actually hurts the idea for a lot of trans people, because the whole point of She-Hulk is she's who she is in the inside. It was basically her becoming She-Hulk and accepting it and wanting to be that way permanently was the equivalent of someone coming out with a new identity for themselves. And she says now that you basically just want to make her Hulk with tits, you kind of taken away that idea of coming out yourself with your true identity on the inside. And I thought that was actually kind of poignant. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's
trans people want to be beautiful. They want to be represented as beautiful, strong, independent women who kick ass. That's why Bayonetta's a huge trans icon.
Also she's super tall. She's 6'7".
Bayonetta's trans?
Yeah.
No,
she's just appreciated by trans people.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm that's.
I kind of show a little size chart for my rookies about okay, this is basically a size chart. This is how a child usually is, and show a big head, small body. This is a chibi. This is a normal adult, and this is Bayonetta settings. And basically, it's 20, not 20, but 10 heads tall, and really really long legs. And we all get a good laugh out of it.
But this is a Batman stream. So let's get down to the meat. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. I watched the Batman for the first time earlier today, And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I did not enjoy my experience watching the Batman. I'm gonna be perfectly real with you.
That's okay, man. Dude,
yeah,
that's fine. Like,
and I looked at a bunch of videos.
This
and I was
the
like,
weird lady Batman.
And I'm
this was the weird lady Batman. I'm gonna tell you that.
I watched it, and I was like, okay, let's see what all the hype is about, because not liking this movie was an unpopular opinion. All right, I'm not one of those people who like pretends like a movie is like bad, and I don't understand why people. I understand why people like it. I really do. It's just that when I watched it, I was like, this movie, this is not a good movie. It's not. I was halfway through the movie, and I'm like, it's just not good. And the worst part is, I like Matt Reeves. He's done good movies. I like the Planet of the Apes trilogy. He did a good job. Well, he only did the two movies, the second two. But still, I like his movies. He can make good movies.
Those are the best.
Yeah, I understand like where you're coming from, like, and I've seen some of your arguments, and I think you have valid points, but at the same time, like, I don't know, like, there's certain, and I don't know, maybe I'm biased in that, like, this is like, just I truly thought it was a legitimately good movie, and that the main source of contention I sort of had with it was that I had to think about it and decide for myself, as I believed everybody should, whether it's a good Batman movie or not. Like, it's a good movie in my opinion, but it being a good Batman movie, that's what I see as sort of up for debate.
It's kind of
yeah.
And I hate to bring this up, but it's kind of pulling a Spider-Man Homecoming thing, where like, oh, it's not the character we know yet. It's not the character we know yet, and I know that's already another can of worms. But I just feel like every time I see someone talking about it, like when people say like, this isn't the Batman we know yet. This is a new take where he's not the Batman. Okay, we've had stories where he's not like the full-fledged, straight-up Batman yet, obviously. And I'm gonna be real, they're told a lot better because it wasn't even that, like,
the Nolan movie, he becomes Batman within, like, you know, the first 30 minutes of the film. Like,
but like that one is more. I would still say that's kind of the thing, because like, even though he becomes quote unquote Batman, he doesn't really. I wouldn't say until he like saves Rachel the first time in the I think that's when he's like the straight up Batman. Before that, he was kind of. And again, I get what people like, the appeal of that, like, oh, showing like a clumsy Bruce, because he was kind of clumsy at the beginning of Batman Begins, where it's like, oh, he doesn't really get the whole hang of the whole like disappearing act,
and
my
mom
and all
that.
Yeah, it's
my mom loved that about the new movie.
I do.
That he was clumsy. She was like, she loved that. She was like, it reminds us he was human.
Yeah, I get that. I really do. And I said, I get that. I get what they're trying to do. It just feels like, though, you see that, you also see it in like movies like Master of the Phantasm, which is a fantastic Batman prequel movie, because he's not quite Batman just yet. That's a fantastic prequel movie to Batman.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, and it's like, I get that they want to go for. They want to go for, this is a young, inexperienced Batman. He's just starting out. I get that. I really do. I just don't think, in my personal opinion, I don't think it was executed well. And that's only part of my problem with the movie. Another part of my problem with the movie is, people say it's a really good detective story. I'm sorry, but it's not. It's not. It's not a good detective movie. I've seen good detective movies. Like you watch a movie like Seven. Seven is a good detective movie. You want to see a good detective movie. This is not good detective
movie. Great movie, hard to see a second time.
One thing that I will say about, you know, the whole detective aspect of it is, I will never say that this is like a great detective movie. I think it's you know, it's solid for what it's trying to do, but it also, you know, it's not trying. It's not trying to force the audience to be intellectual.
Yeah, here's the thing though. It's
can
like,
we say spoilers?
It's been out for a good amount of time.
It's been out for like 2 months.
Yeah, I think by now we can just sort of tell.
But like,
yeah, it's
on
HBO.
But like, here's the thing. It's just like, how do I say this? The thing is, I get what you're saying. Like it's not trying to do that, but like and again, I'm gonna be real here. I was kind of spoiled by the hype, like with a lot of movies I hear about, like, oh, it's really good, it's really good, it's really good. And I watch just like, okay, it's fine, I guess. And I got spoiled by the hype. So I was like, people keep saying it's a really good detective. It's good because like it has Batman being a detective. Okay, first of all, Batman is a detective in all the movies.
I will legitimately argue against that. Batman is barely a detective in almost all the other movies. Like he barely. I'd say the most
original
detective work. I'd say the most detective work he does.
And the 91 and those ones.
I'd even go so far as to say like he's not really a detective in that. The movie prior to this
Nolan,
one
in the first Nolan.
That's what I was gonna say. Is that I think the movie that he does the most sort of detective work is The Dark Knight and maybe Batman Begins. But my problem there is, and this is another hot take, is I, for the most part, don't really see The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises as Batman films. Like Batman Begins, yeah.
Oh, they're Nolan movies.
They're
Nolan movies.
Okay,
Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises. Those are absolutely just Nolan movies that used the names of Batman characters. Like in the trilogy, in the Dark Knight trilogy, I'd say there are 4, maybe 5 characters that actually have good characterization.
Oh, that's a spicy take there, boyo. Yeah, like I get that. Like,
you know what?
I feel like how to put this. I still say this. I think The Dark Knight is still the reason I like the Nolan movies. I think the reason is, at the end of the day, Nolan kind of Nolan didn't pull any punches. He didn't kind of give in and kind of dip into like the more sillier aspects of Batman. He kind of went, I'm making this as realistic as I possibly can. And like at the very least you can respect that. He doesn't like kind of back out and try to explain stuff away like with comic book logic and stuff like that. He does say, "Hey, I'm going all in. I'm going in raw. I'm going in with no lube. This is a straight up as realistic a Batman."
Oh my!
I'm not gonna disagree with that. Like, I think he definitely did that with The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. Batman Begins felt a little bit more comic booky to me, but I.
Okay. Soggy, just keep it PG-13, all right?
Don't worry. I'll push to Batman. I keep forgetting that. I wasn't on the stream, so that's why I was just kind of still drawing She-Hulk.
No, you can draw more She-Hulk. That's perfectly fine.
Feel free. Like,
but remember, Susan took us down last time. Just saying.
Oh yeah. Susan's got a thing against women.
But okay, yeah. So I wanted to, just say that I personally, I loved it when they first came out. I loved the Dark Knight trilogy. I loved them. I was like, yeah, this is like the greatest Batman live action. And now,
there we go.
I'm gonna be honest. Like, as much as I love those movies, I still do love those movies. But they're probably my least favorite adaptation of Batman that I've seen. I'm not going to include Batman Forever or Batman and Robin because I still actually haven't seen those. But
it's
one
of those.
Yeah, go ahead.
They are nothing like Batman.
Let's just put it this way: those are one of those. If you watched them years ago, you'd be like, "Oh God, this is terrible." But if you rewatched it today, you're like, "Wow, this is so bad, it's good."
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that I was, sort of expecting. But to me, I mean, that's not really what my focus is right now. Like, I'm just thinking that, in terms of relatively serious Batman takes, the Nolan trilogy is probably my least favorite. and that is purely because I think it was weakened by his like super strong emphasis on keeping everything like with a realistic tone. I think if you have this character that is the Batman, who is at his core a comic book character, trying to keep it entirely realistic will probably weaken it a little bit. Now, I'm not gonna say that the Batman from Matt Reeves was not
who's the Joker? Who's the Joker?
I don't know.
He tried to be the Joker, but unfortunately he couldn't spell right, so
it's all good.
They denied me my high school trophy. They denied me my college scholarship. Now I think need to pay. I am the Joker. Eat it, nerd. Eat it.
Yeah,
he hates Batman because Batman is smart, and that's like the only reason.
Batman wouldn't do his homework in high school. He knows Bruce, and he wouldn't do his homework in high school.
That's great.
Yo, Bane, dude, you're jacked, bro. You're jacked, dude.
There we go. Wait, that looks like a tit.
Nah, go ahead. He's on steroids. He's got man tits.
There we go. That looks better. That looks more like steroid titties.
Yeah. Like his thing. Like in quote unquote in the Batman. This is gonna be annoying talking about this all day. I'm gonna call. In the Batman, like one of the things people keep saying is, oh, he actually does a lot of detective work in this. I'm like, not real. The closest thing he does is when like Catwoman infiltrates the Iceberg Lounge, and that's about it. That's literally like out of everything. That's literally all he fucking does. Everything else is literally this. Oh, I found a clue from the Riddler. Oh well, here's me wondering what that clue is. I'm not gonna figure it out until the Riddler actually kills somebody else. And he did. Oh, that's what he meant. Okay, I'm a genius. I'm a fucking genius.
I mean, guys, to be fair, he never went around acting like he was a genius. He was literally was trying really hard to figure this stuff out.
But like I said, that's a pivotal part of Batman's character. This one, like I said, this is the dumbest version of Batman I've ever seen in any medium. Like easily the dumbest and most, and I get that's kind of the point. He's young, he's impulsive, he does a lot of that stuff. I'm just saying, like, you'd think he'd be at least somewhat more intelligent. Like, it really does boggle my mind. Like, he just like not like 90% of the movie, and don't pretend I'm lying either, is him just staring and just standing around like a brick, looking like a doofus while everyone else scurries around and investigates. He really does just look around like a lost kid in the mall. Like I have to, and
I'm not gonna argue with that.
I'm sorry, and like I'm gonna add.
Okay, I gotta ask something, Slim. I gotta ask something. And for anyone else who's seen the movie, does he look sad all the time?
No, he looks brooding all the time.
Right,
life is pain. Life is life. Like he does. Like here's the thing. They don't like. I get the intention. Like he even even Matt Reeves, give him credit. He did say like the whole like idea of him being like this billionaire playboy is kind of like never really a thing he's thought of yet. But here's the thing. Like the whole point of the whole billionaire Bruce Wayne playboy alter ego being in the limelight all the time is it's such a stark contrast from the super serious, brooding, dark Batman that no one would think it's Bruce Wayne. That's the whole point. If you told me that, this guy is Batman, the guy who wears sunglasses all the time, always look tired, brooding, and depressed, always speaks in monotone, this guy who we rarely see at all.
Hey, let's be honest, dude. Though, like,
okay,
the first time he had really been seen in public was at the funeral, so it's like he can sort of get away with not having that playboy persona because nobody ever sees him. Exactly. And I understand what you're saying. Let me get this
go
out.
Ahead.
Is that this is a.
What the heck is that?
Finds out it's Bruce. Whoa.
What?
I don't know. I think I think we're being infiltrated by the Joker.
Okay then.
You dare make fun of my games. Now let's see how you like.
So
riddle me this, Slim Daddy. No, I'm sorry.
My Catwoman, my God, Catwoman, shit. But so, fuck, what was I talking about? Right. Okay. So, like, this is a point in his life where his entire being is just consumed by this sort of rage that he sees. This city
the fact that this first
took
line
his
is
family from him. Yeah, like it took his family from him, and he's angry, and he wants to at some level he wants to make sure this doesn't really happen to anybody else, but he's also they took something from him, and he wants to sort of get back at that, and he hasn't yet realized.
What is Catwoman wearing?
Jill Valentine's dress from Resident Evil 3.
Jill Valentine?
I thought. For a second, I thought that was that hat that she was wearing was like the pink feminist cat hat thing.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Now that we switched it up,
she donates all the money she steals to Planned Parenthood.
God. But yeah, so he hasn't sort of realized that he can do just as much good as Bruce Wayne. All he sees is when he looks at the city, all he sees is darkness. He doesn't see any redemption other than to beat it out of the city. And so, I understand a lot of people have a problem with that, but it's something that let's be honest, is I don't know, it's not bad in and of itself, and a lot of people just sort of aren't really willing to look at it. It's just to me, looking at that, he seems like a person who doesn't really have any hope, and this movie is about him learning to realize that his way of just being pure vengeance and anger, it doesn't work, and he needs this city. He can have hope in the city, and it's worth having hope.
It just feels like how do I put this? And I don't take this wrong way or anything. That conversation people have on Twitter every few months or so. It's oh well, Batman doesn't actually help. He just goes around beating up mentally ill people, and he should redistribute his wealth. It feels like, this is my opinion on it. It feels like someone who would have that opinion made this movie. And that's what they thought Batman was like, and then tried to make this statement at the end to try to I'm addressing a big issue that was never an issue. It just felt like they were trying to address an issue that was never an issue with Batman, because you didn't write him like Batman. He's not this version of Batman isn't smart. He's not really a detective in this movie, even though people are saying, oh, it's him being a detective. It's not. He only really does detective work about once. All the other times he's just walking into a situation and beating the crap out of people. That's what he's doing 99% of the time.
There are exactly 3 fight scenes in this movie.
But it's
a 3-hour movie, and I'll take it back. There's 4 because there's the shootout, but he doesn't actually fight in that. He just drives. But so here's the thing. You're looking at this from the perspective of, I want to see you want to see the Batman as we know him, and this is just a little bit of a different version. It's so you can't
and that's why I'm not going in as hard as I would, because this is to be fair, this is a complete reboot, reincarnate, whatever you want to call it. It's its own thing. It's completely its own thing, and I completely understand that. That's why I'm not really super upset about it. It's an incarnation I don't like. I'll get over it. It's kind of why I'm not too upset about Dark Fate, because at the end of the day, Terminator screwed up its timeline so much after Terminator 2, so I don't really.
Well, let's be honest, though. Dark Fate. God, yes.
Dark Fate was still bad.
The difference between Dark Fate and the Batman is that Dark Fate screwed with pre-existing movies. The Batman is its own thing.
But
not comparable at all.
Dark Fate didn't go hard enough. Dark Fate still.
No, I'm
Dark
saying
Fate
like
had some bullshit excuse where my freaking 60-year-old boomer consumer stepdad went, "Oh, they're not lesbians. See, it's like a mother-daughter relationship." Dude, just make it lesbian, Kyle Reese.
But here's the thing. With that movie, you could argue that a lot of people have even said this, like, with so much bullshit, you're like, okay, well, technically, Skynet doesn't exist because John Connor doesn't exist. So they're like, technically, this could be like people pushing like, oh, it could be an alternative timeline.
Of course, it's an alternative.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about with Dark Fate.
Different timelines in.
Like I said, I genuinely I'm more lenient with that. It's not like that other movie I don't want to talk about again because I'll go into a rant, but it's not like it's a direct sequel that's actively contradicting the other ones. This one is like, hey, this is like, I guess in a timeline where John Connor dies and there's like an alternative timeline now. It's already confusing enough that I could like I said, it kind of already got confusing after Terminator 2. After that, it was already fucking confusing. But it basically my point is it's a completely different thing.
It never really confused me.
Yeah, like it's like
it did for me. Blues Brothers 2000. Where they don't save the orphanage.
For me, so going back to the Batman is, for me, you can't. So when you look at this as, it's a new version. He's only been Batman for like a year, and he hasn't had a whole lot of like actual training from different sources.
Or
like it says work. Yeah, it says that Alfred taught him how to fight, and that's about it. He's stayed out of the public eye. It's established that he hasn't really done anything with his fortune, other than the Batman stuff. And he goes into like I said, he's very angry. He goes in to every problem trying to solve it with a fight, and I think that's why he doesn't really do so well. Solving this, this detective thing, is that he's just not used to it. I don't think he's ever faced anything that requires him to actually think like this before. And so, you make the argument that this is not really
his brain hurt so bad.
This isn't really a good detective movie, and I'm not going to argue with that with you on that. But to say that he's not. To say that you disagree with the movie being a detective Batman, I can't agree with that, because although he's not great at it, this is a very much more detective focused, Batman movie than we've ever really gotten before.
I'm saying I don't mind a more detective focused Batman. Like I said, I will argue that, like I said, I think both Batman Begins and The Dark Knight did set up a mystery or a conspiracy for Batman to solve. I think he also kind of did that again a lot of the Batman. You haven't seen Batman the animated series, and I implore you, if you ever get the time. Dude,
I know it's on my list.
It's worth it. It is fantastic. It is unbelievable. That one has a lot of detective work from Batman in it, and it's really good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not counting that when I say we haven't gotten that before. I'm purely counting live action.
Yeah, I get that, but how do I put this? It's like,
oh yeah,
it feels like
not a detective in the movie where Poison Ivy does a sexy dance in a gorilla suit.
How do I put this? It feels like people are saying this is the most detective focused Batman, but like I said, what's the point when he's and I get that that's kind of the point, like trying to point out he's inexperienced, but it feels like at least show him being somewhat competent. At least like for instance, let me give you an example. How do I put this? It took him 3 hours to solve a case that I'm pretty sure most incarnations of Batman could probably solve in about 10 minutes. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like some of the stuff like that's actually set up in the movie, I'm like, dude, I could figure this shit out. Like, it's painfully, and I get what you said earlier. Like, yeah, they don't really try to they're not going for like super mind brain the audience. And again, this is probably a lot of just hype around it, but everyone's keeps saying it's got a lot of detective stuff in it, but it's like the detective stuff, in my opinion, just isn't done very well because the clues in my opinion aren't very clever. Because again, I figured them out in like 2 minutes, and I'm like, why is this taking you 40 minutes to when he said bring the rat to the light? I was like, okay, simple. Figure out who ratted out not Falcone, the other one,
Maroney.
Maroney, yes, Maroney, thank you. Figure out who ratted out Maroney, bring him to the light. Why does it take him 40 minutes to figure this out? Why does it take him 40 minutes?
I think 40 minutes. Why people are calling it a detective movie is because it has the paint of a detective movie from the late 90s, early 2000s. It reminded me so much of a serial killer movie from that era.
Did it take him 40 minutes to figure out that the rat meant an informant?
I mean, it took longer than it needed to. Like seriously, they were like, "Oh, what does El Rata mean?" I'm like, dude, like what does rat mean? Like, okay, you get it. It's like bring the rat to light. It's like, okay, bring the rat to the right. Bring the informant who took down Maroney and bring him to the light. That's simple. I figured this out the minute I heard the clue, and it takes him like 20 minutes to figure that out. And then it gets to the point where he's like, and I swear to God, he said this. Oh, well, El Rata, that means it loosely translates to a rat with wings. And it's like, wait a minute, penguins have wings. No, how the fuck do you jump to that? Like, and even then, even if you did want to say that, even if you did, if Riddler did know, if that was the point of it, if Riddler did know who was the rat, why would he bother you solving all these riddles? And he could just kill them anyway. And then, like, it gets even dumber when he's like,
well, that's the thing. That is an argument that I actually have to argue against. Is like,
yeah, and it turns out it's the URL. I got that.
Not that. Like, again, I have to make an argument before you can argue against my argument. Is that the rat ended up being Falcone, and so it was still a rat with wings. It was still a bird thing. And like, so it's not about the it's not about the Riddler knowing who it is. The Riddler already knew who it was, clearly, and he just needed him to be brought out so he could kill him. Like, he couldn't get access to the club, and the Penguin he didn't ever really appear in public any more than Falcone did.
He literally had an apartment right next to the Iceberg Lounge. Like, he literally waited for Batman to take Falcone out into the street and shoot. Yeah. Like, there is no excuse for that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And even then, the whole Falcone. Falcons have wings. I'm like, dude, you guys are reaching. You guys are reaching. Thank God. Though. Like, okay. I'm not gonna argue with that. I'll just say, like, that in my opinion was like.
Anyone else? That my opinion was like that. The Riddler was a shit poster. Did anyone else?
I did. Okay, I did like that. I will say this. I will say this. I gotta put this. I literally liked every other character except Batman and Catwoman. Like, Batman and Catwoman were the least interesting characters in the movie for me. I will say that. I kind of like the Riddler. I don't like how they went for the whole we're kind of the same. We're the same, you and I, and like you went for like, he was kind of a Redditor. He was kind of like an incel Redditor. He kind of gave off those vibes.
There is all this fan art. Like, there's all this fucking sexy fan art of the Riddler now. Because I found images of him wearing third thing, he, him, whole.
Oh God damn it. But
he's being turned into a Tumblr sexy man.
I do like the idea. I do kind of like the idea that he is just some guy, some random looking guy. I do like that. I do. I also like the guy who played Penguin. He was really good.
I think it was the same guy who played Daredevil's Bullseye.
Yep.
Yeah, he was really good, and he was really good. Gordon was pretty good. He gave off real Gordon.
Yeah,
I'm so tired. I'm tired. Yeah, like I didn't.
I'm gonna be honest. Like,
he was good. He was good.
I went in with no expectations whatsoever for Jeffrey Wright because, like, I'm not big on race swaps for any character, but I also, I think Jeffrey Wright like I haven't seen him in anything, so I'm like I'm not going to judge like him as an actor until I see this. And I went in and I watched it, and I really liked him in the role. I thought he did really, really well. And I mean, obviously he's no Gary Oldman, but that's unfair to
that's literally saying be as good as God, be as good as God himself.
Gary Oldman is an acting guy.
I'm gonna admit this. My favorite Gordon is I almost said Post Malone. Christopher Malone one from the Christopher Malone one from Harley Quinn. I just can't get over Christopher Malone's.
Well, again, we're referring to live action
from Harley Quinn.
Yeah, and I said, he was. Like I said,
you're right. If we're gonna pick live action only, it's Gary Oldman. But was great too.
Yeah, he was good. He was really good.
Was really good. Like I think I'm gonna be honest. I didn't get like very traditional Gordon vibes from him, but I think like the version of Gordon he played was very, very good for this.
Yeah. Like it's like he's got like I genuinely like he felt like Gordon because he had that same. I gotta put up with Batman's bullshit vibes that Gordon always has, and he did that very well in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
I like Penguin. I like Joker. I didn't like. I'll say I like the Riddler. I like the Riddler's actor and like the direction they went. Like what he was given, he did a really good job with it. I'm iffy on like the whole, like I said, making him essentially like, oh, get it? He radicalizes people on the internet to do what he tells them to do, and tells them to go out and shoot people in a mass. Yeah, I get it. It's not too on the nose where it's annoying, but it's like I get it. I get it.
Modern.
I know what you're doing, and not to mention they only gave him like 500 followers. Fuck off. He is not recruiting an army with 500 followers on Instagram. Dude. Shut the fuck up.
I was actually going to say the
interact. Dude,
go ahead.
I have 800 and I have like no interaction. It's like you got to be really best friends with these guys to really get them to interact with you.
Go ahead.
Is the Riddler just up all night listening to his internet friends bullshit? Is he just a really good internet friend?
I just think that I think that the followers he did get were just absolutely batshit insane.
Like obviously, but like still, I'm like, okay, I get what you're trying to do. Like you already hit me on the nose with like, oh, you must have grown up rich because you wouldn't understand these rich white privileged assholes. Like that line made me cringe. I'm not.
But like,
then again, that was Kyle, and she was just kind of cringe throughout the
channel where he reacts to TLC. The Riddler has a channel where he reacts to TLC.
Hey guys, it's your boy, the Riddler, here with another video. We're looking at 90 Day Fiance. God.
Well, hold up. Like, he only had 500 followers?
Yeah, 500 followers on Instagram.
I got 4,000 followers. How many people? What do you think I could do with my followers? What do you think I could do?
You could probably take over the nation.
January 6th.
Whoa! Dude, we don't want to get the stream banned. Hell, please.
What did he say? What did you guys say? I said take over the nation.
He said January 6th.
So I just want Susan to know that I disagree with January 6th.
I understand it, but I don't agree with it. I understand it, but I don't agree.
And definitely not a Fed psyop. That's conspiracy theory, and I don't support it. Wink, wink.
But anyway. Also, I like. Also, weirdly enough, you know a character I also liked. I really liked Falcone in this one.
Absolutely, John Turturro,
he was he's just a fantastic actor. Like the way he was good in like Batman Begins. Like he did give up like how like you could be intimidating. Like I'm untouchable in Batman Begins, and I get like that. But he was kind of like the first level boss essentially. This one, I don't like how they tried to make him the big bad guy behind everything. I think if like they made him like Catwoman's father. He also murdered her mother. He also maybe kind of murdered Bruce's father. He's also the one who kind of killed the reporter and kind of like got like kind of like got Bruce's father, looking bad. He's like he's responsible for and that's why Riddler.
I'm gonna be honest. I actually really like that.
I don't know. I think if they just stuck to, in my opinion, this is my personal opinion. First of all, Catwoman didn't need to be in the movie. I don't know why they had her in there, but in making her I think if they just stuck to, the whole idea of, I mean, yeah, but I'll get to that in a minute.
Women like Catwoman. Women like the romance between Catwoman and Batman. So I get the feeling they made this movie to appeal to women. Just for some reason, this movie just screams Lady Batman at me. I don't know why. It feels like the Batman movie.
Here's the thing, though, and I'll say this, but I would have felt better if Falcone was responsible for everything. I think if they just said, if they just expanded on the angle of Falcone and his father were compatriots. They were kind of like that, and they kind of kept the focus on that until it kind of kept Bruce ambiguous. Okay, was my father a bad guy? Was he involved with the mob? How far did this go? I think if they kept it at that and kept that going, and made Falcone more of the focus, and Riddler maybe could be a secondary villain, in my opinion, I think it would have worked out better, because like I said, Falcone was really good in this. I'm God damn, he's the best part of this movie. Also, something else I want to point out, this is about Alfred. And then I'll get to Catwoman, but Alfred, I don't hate Andy Serkis, but my problem with Alfred is he's barely in the movie. So when they try to have this big emotional moment, I'm oh no. Anyway, oh no, Alfred's in the hospital. I sure missed those 2 minutes those two scenes he had with Bruce, where he just said, he just basically did the Uncle Ben speech of, oh, you're not my dad. It's just a phase, Alfred. Jeez, get off my back. Yeah, I was okay, that was kind of, this is something I don't understand for Alfred anyway. You made Batman one punch, made Batman say Tom, okay.
I wasn't even drawing him as One Punch Man. I'm not very familiar with it. I was just
there's a very famous image where there's a villain powering up, and he's okay.
It's the okay.
Yeah.
Well, that is interesting irony.
Actually, here's the thing. But another thing about Alfred, though, that I really did hate in the movie. What is the main thing why Batman is the way he is? It's because he's coping, because he doesn't have closure. He doesn't know why. And to be fair, they kind of try to keep it ambiguous too, but it's he doesn't really know why that happened to happen to him that night. He doesn't have closure. That's the big thing for Batman. Okay, so why the fuck? And Gumby, I'm asking you this specifically because I'm not ball backing you or anything. I'm just asking you this genuinely. How come Alfred didn't tell Bruce this years ago, or at least before he became fucking Batman, that yes, this might be a good reason as to why your parents are dead. They might have been involved with the mob. It might have been Falcone. It might not have been an accident. Why didn't you give Bruce some level of closure? Why the hell did you let him live on with that trauma for all those years? Why?
And I may be wrong with this because it's never really expressly established, but the way that I see it is Alfred cares very deeply for Bruce. And the way that we see Bruce here, he is very angry and he doesn't really think things through. And I mean, come on, we saw this. He doesn't think stuff through. And so I think Alfred was afraid that if Bruce found out that Falcone was responsible, or even if he had anything to do with Thomas and Martha's death, then he would sort of rush off half-cocked and get himself killed. Because ultimately, and they established this very well in the movie, that Falcone owns the entire city.
Yeah,
so I
hate how they treated that like a big surprise. Oh my god, this I kind of already guessed that. I kind of already.
Yeah, no, I mean it's no surprise that Falcone owns the city, but I mean again, based if we're looking at it from, we already know that Falcone's going to own the city. It's a Batman story. This is still a new story, so Bruce isn't going to know that yet. Once he finds out, it's going to be like, oh, wow, okay, this is something that I have to deal with. So, like, plus, I think Alfred didn't tell him.
There's a bunch of moms watching Batman for the first time, too. All those women watching Robert Pattinson needed to be introduced to the world of Batman.
It's Pattinson, not Paddington.
Bear Man.
I'm a little drunk. I'll say Pat. I will say Pattinson if I want to.
Now I'm gonna ask you one. I'm gonna ask you one thing. What do you know about marmalade sandwiches and rain boots?
But yeah, so my perspective is just that Alfred didn't think Bruce was ready to know.
That's fair. That's actually fair. I'll give you that.
In this, and that is something that I do really like about this movie, and I understand like a lot of people really didn't like this about this movie, and I don't know. It sort of frustrates me because they act like, Batman, he shouldn't have to learn that violence doesn't solve everything. It's like, I'm sorry. This is, if you want to see the same Batman you already know, like, I mean, I hate making that argument because that same argument could be used to be like, to defend stuff that is legitimately shitty.
Yeah,
my perspective is like, look, this is a new take on Batman. It's not even bad. That in my perspective, it is not bad. It in this. God, I'm not even.
Can
drunk.
I say
I have
something?
Not had any alcohol today.
Did anyone else think? Okay, so that song that was playing in the Batman movie that they used twice.
Yeah, it was so fucking emo. I swear to God.
I loved it.
I thought it was a Nine Inch Nails song. I kept thinking it was the Nine Inch Nails song. Every day is exactly the same. I kept thinking that to myself. I'm like, wait, this isn't Nine Inch Nails. But that's what I mean by I would have eaten this up as a teenager. I would have eaten this up as a teenager. The serial killer Riddle. Oh wait, Riddler, the ultra violence, the weird PG-13 ultra violence going on.
Yeah,
and I'll be honest, that's something that I've heard as like a legitimate complaint is like, oh, Batman's too violent. I'm sorry, that is a legitimate complaint that I've heard people say. Batman's too violent. He's this bloodthirsty. They say he's like this bloodthirsty monster, and that's not what Batman is. Batman has control and everything. I'm like, okay,
way more people
this movie. There are 4 fights in this movie, and it's 3 hours long. That's not a very high ratio of fighting. Yeah, he's violent, but honestly, there's only 2 points in that where it even feels remotely excessive, and that is his very first attack against the dude in the alley in the very beginning of the movie, and then it's the time where he's on the adrenaline.
Riddler. The Riddler is pretty fucking violent.
But
the Riddler is, but I'm talking about like people were saying that Batman himself is extremely violent and excessively, and I'm like,
what? No.
Here's the thing.
Batman sets a man on fire.
I'm gonna be real. Like I agree with you there. I'm not gonna say like he's like a bloodthirsty monster. I will say though, like I said, my biggest issue with this version of Batman is he's an idiot. I'm sorry, I can't put it any other way. He's a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. I get being inexperienced. I get being impulsive, stuff like that. We've seen that before in young Batman. That's nothing new. My problem is he doesn't use his brain muscle very much, and it gets annoying. And then people and then I'll say this. I think another reason for the runtime, and this is just me anyway. They spend way too much time. It's kind of like Snyder. They spend way too much time on like establishing shots and like long lingering shots. Way too freaking much in this movie. Like it wasn't as bad as a Snyder movie, but it was like, okay, we get it. We get it. This could have been like 15-20 minutes shorter if there wasn't like a bunch of long lingering shots of bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, that's kind of how I feel. But that's just like a subjective thing for me anyway. Sorry, I'm drunk.
I was
going
to say that.
Go ahead.
I was personally going to say that. What was it? I have not seen the movie yet. I've only seen like images and clips, but like the way that the Riddler is introduced, I actually really like that type of stuff where it's like so in the shadows that it almost is like you don't see it at first until like I think it was like there was thunder clapping and that's when the Riddler comes out and it's like, oh, I kind of like that. I
do like I said I like the actor and the way like when he was given the direction he clearly knew what to do. Like so the actor is really good at what he's given. I think my one argument for why I don't really like the Riddler is like I said, his riddles are a little too simple. Like I said, I figured a lot of them out like pretty much off the bat. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. And two, like
those little love cards he sent him. Those cards were so creepy.
Yeah, I will. Like I said, they could pull that off very well. My problem is like, what's a good example? Like he's a little. I will say he's a little inconsistent because he's clearly like for instance, like he says like, oh, I can't do what you do. I can't really do all this stuff, but he like manages to take down some of the most and I get some of this is just straight up lazy writing. Like some of these people would have security on them most of the time. Some of these people wouldn't got alone. There's no way he doesn't look athletic or even really that like strong enough to. He even says, "I'm not strong like you. I don't have the muscle." It really is inconsistent to do that when you literally like sneak into people's houses, manage to bludgeon them, manage to tape them up, and like make these elaborate traps and like place them in these specific things. I get the traps part. That makes sense for the Riddler. But like the whole like, oh, you go behind them and bludgeon them. I didn't know like it that part kind of, and these are very high profile, powerful people that you infiltrated their homes and like found that like infiltrated their cars and stuff, but they probably have security and all that other bullshit. It's really weird when they establish, yes, he also did a lot of this by himself, like almost all of it by himself too. So I'm just like, this is a little, this to me is a little. It's a little inconsistent. It's just a tad bit inconsistent. I don't hate the Riddler. I would say like my least favorite characters in this movie, like I said, is Batman for reasons I've already explained because he's a fucking moron in this. Yeah. And Catwoman, who didn't need to be in here, and like there was one thing that I was thinking about. Well, first of all, I'm gonna be real here. She didn't feel like Catwoman. This felt like the actress just playing herself. You know, one of those actors who just plays themselves in a movie.
Well, I think part of the point of it is like she's not quite not quite the Catwoman yet. Like it's she hasn't really taken the name or anything. Like she's sort of started to lean towards the whole cat thing, like at the back half of the movie, but I don't think she's become that yet.
But like, and one thing I was like,
and one thing cat just happens to resemble cat ears. It's more like her cat is just it also happens to look like cat ears.
It also looked really stupid. Honestly, if they just put a full-on ski mask, that would have been less stupid in my opinion. Like I really would have just looked less stupid in my personal opinion.
Yeah. Fucking Halle Berry leather suit. You need to bust out the Halle Berry leather suit.
Man. I like me some fan service, and even though I thought that suit was atrocious, I thought that suit was awful. Like I don't know what they were going with that. And this is coming from me, but my
friend, or just the mask.
But here's the thing. My problem with Catwoman is like there was this one scene. Basically, there's like this girl. She's like a Russian sex slave escort.
Oh yeah, prostitute.
Yeah, she's like that, and they clearly wanted her to be in a gay relationship with her. Like they clearly wanted to do that. Like it's painfully obvious they wanted to do that. And I'm like, I guarantee you, like someone at DC was like, no taco eating, no Caesar, no, none of that. We can't have any of that. We can't. I guarantee you that's what they wanted to do with the character, but the DC was like, nah, you can't do that. I'm sorry, you can't. And she called her baby. Like tried to explain They tried to explain like, oh well, it was because my mom also worked there, so I kind of have that. No, you two were fucking. You two were fucking. Okay.
You were retcon gay.
Okay, sorry,
no,
Gubby, you go ahead.
Movie studios, grow some fucking balls.
I mean, not just the movies. I mean, freaking the comics and just so many other stuff are completely full of double doors at this point.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, Gumby, I completely took over.
No, it's all good. I was distracted by like some other stuff.
Like One Punch Batman.
Oh, what is going on with these legs? Oh, what did I do to her legs? Oh no. What did I do to Catwoman?
Wait, why is it women? Is there like multiple personalities?
It's like Moon Knight.
Okay then.
Oh wait.
Seen that
Gumby, that actually gives me a great idea. You know, like that Batman idea I was talking to you about? Gumby, are you there?
Trying to think.
Like I was basically the Penguin was like Kingpin.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. I just got an idea. Like, you know, what if I gave Selena Kyle 9 different personalities? And like Batman has to try then Batman has to try to like figure like he has a specific relationship with each and every one of them. Like, so of course you have like the base Selena Kyle, who's like
well, haven't there been multiple women that have taken on the name Catwoman aside from Selena, and you could have like the personalities have those names?
Yeah,
that'd be cool too.
One time she was like a flight stewardess. One time she was a jewel thief. Like, she's been so many. Catwoman has been so many different things. I think there are at least 9 different Catwomen by now.
Yeah, Catwoman's one of those characters where they're kind of like, yeah, do whatever you want with her. Like, you want to make her a villain or a vigilante. Like, because in the 70s, Catwoman was a straight up villain. Like, from the 70s for a while, she was a straight up villain. Like, she would try to feed Batman to tigers, and it was the 70s, man. It was the weird age of comics. It was the Silver Age, weird. It wasn't until I would say the 80s that they leaned heavier on her relationship with Batman. And it was straight up 90s where they made her a straight up anti-hero, I think. Where they focus more on her, when they just focus more on her being a kleptomaniac. Nowadays she's a straight up hero. But yeah, she's like Jason Todd. She's basically she's basically just a hero, but she still pretends to be an anti-hero for whatever reason. Also like I never understood why.
Here's a question, guys.
I never understood why. Yeah, go ahead.
What's your favorite flavor of Catwoman? Mine is the thief. Like, what do you guys? What's your favorite flavor of Catwoman?
Like I said, I do like me fatale. Femme fatale.
Like she'll work with Batman like for the greater good. She'll help him out because she actually doesn't want him to get hurt, but she also ultimately, when it comes down to it, she's gonna try to find a way to like sort of have her cake and eat it too, where it's like to keep him alive and safe, but also, you know, steal whatever she can. And because she's not a good person per se, but she'll do good she's
a good person. She's a good person. It's just that, you know, she's like I said, like she's a kleptomaniac, and for Batman, when you're not a psycho killer, he called that a plus. I think he called that a plus.
I actually saw on Twitter there was a really great quote that someone made. Someone retweeted or shared some art with a quote, and that was actually really representative of Catwoman. And the quote was, "There's nothing glamorous about killing," and I really love that. That it's like Catwoman, she steals, she's a criminal and everything, but she would never really steep to killing people, at least in my personal opinion. I don't think she would.
Yeah, which it's very much like I said in the 70s. She was more like an over the top villain. She's a very much over the top villain in like Silver Age 70s Batman. And she did become, and again, they leaned more towards her relationship with Batman and being, like more like a kleptomaniac, late like 80s and 90s, and like the 2000s onwards, they kind of straight up made her like, made her like a straight up more like an anti-hero, kind of working alongside Batman more. Personally, like I said, I do like what Gumby said, I do like the femme fatale angle, which is also a kleptomaniac too, where she's like constantly teasing Batman, oh, maybe I can be saved, maybe I can't, you're gonna have to figure out. And like Batman's like, I gotta get me some of that Katusi. I gotta get that Katusi.
So did you say Katusi?
I'm gonna be honest. I know like Catwoman is always kind of the canon, like, oh, that's the love interest for Batman.
Oh no, it's Wonder Woman. Like Wonder Woman and Batman totally would be together. Like personally for me, that's my personal take.
That I 100% agree with, because I actually, so the first, it's not the first, but like my favorite love interest, or like my favorite Batman story involving like him having, feelings for somebody, absolutely Justice League Unlimited, because like just the sort of flirtationship between him and Diana, and nothing really ever comes of it, which I do find
so
unfortunate.
developed. Yeah,
you can tell very much that that there's something there, and like nobody's gonna deny.
It's the way Bruce is, and apparently, considering Batman Beyond being canon in the Justice League universe, the Justice League animated universe anyway, nothing ever comes of it. And I mean, I did talk about so one thing I've told Slim about, I haven't told any of you guys, but like there's one of the AU sort of ideas that I have involving, because unfortunately, because I can never stop thinking of stuff, I now have 2 separate DC Universe AUs.
Nice.
And in my, sort of, because there's one that's like I view as sort of like a main one, and then which I get as like really weird with it, and then the other one I have as sort of a DC Cinematic Universe AU, where I just sort of start from the beginning, have kind of like my own casting and whatnot, and so yeah, I actually have in my main one, Bruce Wayne ends up in a relationship with Julia Pennyworth.
Who's that?
That is Alfred's daughter.
Sorry, I'm not. Wait a minute. They wouldn't have that much of a. Oh, you know what? I'm getting confused. I was thinking of Alicia Silverstone from the freaking 4th Batman movie. Okay, go on.
No, yeah. So I guess
that's a crazy age difference.
I guess in the comics, like I don't know what holds on about it, but I guess in the comics, now that Alfred's dead, Julia has sort of taken over his role, and she kind of like is sort of a mix between Alfred and Oracle's role now. I'm not sure like how true that is, because again, I haven't actually read anything with her in it, but I just always thought the idea of Alfred having a daughter that's part of the Bat family was really interesting. And so basically, like in this particular AU, Alfred is dead. He dies before Bruce is actually able to come back to Gotham. And so when he comes back to Gotham, he sort of triggers an alarm that he didn't know was there. And, a few months later, Julia shows up in the cave, and they sort of partner up. And after like the closing of they become romantically involved. And after the closing of the story, and Bruce retires as Batman, he and Julia get married.
Oh boy. They say they have for like the Black Panther movie, they're gonna introduce Namor, and apparently he's gonna have a new origins.
That's terrifying.
Okay. All right, so Okay, so apparently apparently he's gonna be Mexican.
Who?
Yeah.
Wasn't he Asian?
No, because Namor is like half Atlantean, half human. But here
I know,
he's
but like his human half wasn't it like Asian or
I don't fucking know, dude. But anyway, I'm not gonna. I forgot. But anyway, like Tanakurata will, yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a Hispanic dude. And apparently, they want to change it. They want to change it because like, oh, there's so much confusion between Aquaman and Namor. Like, okay, let's be real. You wanted to do something different, but apparently, like, this one he's going to be from Central America and like a region, an historical city where like in Mexico, there's a Mexican version of Atlantis essentially.
Huh.
Oh.
Yeah, so like they're going to do that instead.
That's weird to me.
Yeah, they like I said, they clearly.
Like, I don't hate it entirely, but it's
just, they clearly want to get those brownie points in, but they want to get a Hispanic actor. Like they clearly want to get a Hispanic actor, and that's fine. I don't care about the MCU at this point, but I'm like,
if they want real brownie points, somebody should make the Darna movie.
The what?
Darna, the Filipino Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah,
you should look her up.
Oh, trust me, I know very much about Darna. In fact, an expert of Darna is right next to me. Honey, you're an expert.
I can hear her hiding her face.
Love you, honey.
Oh yeah, okay, I remember this.
just the super tiny voice. Just stop it. Just
right now she's drawing Power Girl, and now I kind of I'm sorry, hon. I love you. Sorry, guys.
God damn it! Why are you guys so cute?
All right. Let's change the subject before I fucking vomit. All right.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just fucking around. I'm a jealous bastard. Anyway.
Honestly.
Hey, God.
Oh, that I shouldn't tell you I have pizza.
Son of a.
Okay, so what about Darna?
Healthier.
It was actually more like Shazam, actually.
I'm sorry. What? That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. She swallows the pearl.
Yeah, she swallowed the pearl, and anytime she says Darna, she gets the beauty of Venus, the speed of someone, the strength of Hercules, and the wisdom of someone else. Sorry, I'm a little bit shaky on the details, but bottom line, she's pretty awesome. And she has a lot of things inspired from Shazam, but I think they actually came out at the same time. Irony, right?
No, not them.
Yeah, funny thing about Shazam, when he first came out, like he actually did become more popular than Superman at one point.
He was. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was like actually a lot more popular for a while.
And you know what's funny? One of his writers later went on to work on Superman, and he created the Superman family. Like after he did the Shazam family.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
I'm still trying to figure out how the hell Shazam, because that's what he's known as now, lost the Captain Marvel license.
They sued. They sued.
But they had it 60 years prior. How do you lose for having it 60 years prior and you still got your ass handed to you? Whoever they hired for the lawyer, they got hosed.
Well, yeah. we know the lawyer wasn't any Matt Murdock.
That's true.
Or Jen Walters. Or
I will say
other superhero lawyer here.
I will say
Augustus Freeman.
I will say like
sexy single female lawyer having lots of sex.
Futurama reference, hell yeah.
Speaking of which, I saw the trailer for the new She-Hulk, and I needed to drink after that.
Screw you, I like it.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. It's probably gonna suck, but I'm giving it a chance.
Okay.
I
found out something about it.
What's up?
It's written by the woman who wrote Pickle Rick.
Yes, I know. And
I know.
That's part of why I'm scared. I'm legitimately
like
scared.
I saw the trailer. I saw the trailer and I was like, Oh boy, we're really gonna do this, huh? Okay.
All right, I want to put my 2 cents in this as a big She-Hulk fan. This is the best we could potentially get in current year because they didn't go the Jason Aaron route, but they couldn't go the full John Byrne route. Yeah. This is the best they could do with what we have today.
Now, here's the thing. This is a major reason why I'm actually still legitimately nervous is as like this looked fine to me from the trailers. Yeah, the trailer was like cut a little bit weird, and some of the CGI for Jen looked a little like it looked off. I'm not gonna say it looked atrocious, but it looked
it didn't look bad.
Like a lot of people were saying like, oh, this looks like PS3 graphics. I'm like, no, it looks a little bit better than that. But it's like I'm not gonna pretend it's cutting edge. But it's I think she looks fine. She looks hot. That's kind of what matters to me.
In terms of She-Hulk, in terms of like other terms, She-Hulk, she's definitely mid in my opinion.
Oh like, yeah, no, I'm not. I'm just looking at her like as just how she looks.
John Byrne She-Hulk is the benchmark. At a 10, she is a solid 6.
I am actually gonna say the benchmark for me is John Byrne is like he's the classic, so you can't really argue against that. But the benchmark for me, top tier She-Hulk. Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Oh yeah, obviously, yeah, of course.
That's
that actually, excuse me, Gumby. I'll admit, I rarely say this, but I was wrong. Gumby is right on this. He is absolutely right. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is top tier She-Hulk.
Let's be honest, though, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like everybody looked good in that game.
It's a like John Burns is a close second, but yeah, that one had it locked down on number 1. Like
also, there's a Pablo Romero did a She-Hulk pinup that I actually have saved to my Twitter bookmarks.
I wonder why you have it saved, Gumby.
I admire his art style,
but I gotta draw some more She-Hulks actually.
Please do. Like literally do it as you can, and feel free to draw Nick Gum anytime you want.
I was that's what I meant to do. I actually like sketched like something where it was like you and Beta Cat, right? and you were asking Nika like to squeeze her. If you could squeeze your head to your thigh, she said it's 200 marks each.
Yeah, no, see, I wouldn't beg. Nick wouldn't beg like that. But
you asked politely. She's like, okay, fine, but it's 200 marks each. You want that to happen?
That's fair. That's I would not pay. I have some pride.
Yeah, like that's like Nika is the kind of person who'd have an OnlyFans because she really would. Like she really would. She does not have discriminated against sense. She's also Nika is also speaking of bisexual character, Nika is also bisexual.
Hot.
Yeah, she sleeps around a lot. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, she the thing is, like, when you're, like, in, okay, like, the satyr, like, okay, a little bit of Callous Master lore time. In the Duvalin Valley, which is in the mountain of Taurus. Which is in the Duvalin Valley, which is in the mountains of Valtaurus. There are like four tribes. There's the There's the four Satyria tribes. There's the Duvalins. There's the Centaurians. There's the Erisians, and there's the Minotaur tribe. Each of them worship a different god of the Satyrians, and the Minotaur tribes worship Raziri, the Minotaur god of the Satyrian god of rage and war. Well, they're all war. Yeah, they're all war gods, but he's the one specifically of rage. And in that culture, it's very much it's very much what did I say? It's very much strength dominated. So like all the male minotaurs are top dogs, stuff like that. The stronger you are, the more respect you have. And the thing is, whenever they mate with other Satyrians, if they're female, they'll come out the same race as whatever race that their mother was. So like if they made it with the centaur, they'd be a centaur. And if it was a female, they mate it with a normal Satyrian. It will be it'll be a freaking normal. It'll be a normal satyr. With Nika though, what made her different is when she was born, she was the first female minotaur ever born. So she had horns and everything. And she had some satyr traits, but she also had the horns of a minotaur. So that really weirded everybody out. They're also a very aggressive race. The minotaurs are, and let's just say the shenanigans the minotaurs get into, they're not always consensual, to say the least. But yeah,
surprised.
Yeah, like even like Nika's mother. Let's just say she got it because Nika is a Satyrian demigod, which isn't really a big deal because almost every other minotaur has the blood of Raziri in them. But like she's like his direct daughter essentially. Because her mother tried
erect. She's erect.
No, well she's a direct. No, you're fine. She's like a direct daughter. And the thing about it is, when her mom tried to escape through the Valtoris, because the only way to get through Valtoris is literally through a maze within the mountains. She tried to get away, and Raziri found her. And let's just not go into details about what happened. Anyway, for some reason, when she was born half Minotaur, despite being a female. So she's the first female Minotaur ever born. Sorry I went on that tangent. That's just something.
All good.
Yeah.
No, that's fine. No, you want to something really weird I found out?
What's that?
I found out in the Sonic fandom, eye ridges and long noses are considered a male trait. And Sonico has them.
Okay then.
Yeah, like I'm surprised you didn't know that.
To be fair, though,
no, I didn't know that. Like I saw Miss Face talking about it. She said that she does her Sonico with or her Sonic with eye ridges and a long nose, and she mentioned people are photoshopping her work.
So wait a minute,
like they're photoshopping the nose
Sonic
smaller.
Is the family of all the Sonics.
Yes.
Oh wow.
Anyway. I mean, in your parody, like it's largely gender swapped. So who's to say in your world it's not a female trait?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, like
see, I
didn't realize that
some people make ugly Sonic female. So
I mean, never underestimate my ability to extend my logic in order to maintain my heterosexuality.
Okay then.
No, I just like drawing the eye ridges and the long nose. I didn't realize that was seen as a male trait. So no, I'm not saying Sonico is trans. Well, if you want to interpret it that way, I say have it up to you, but she's not.
Everybody
Soggy, you gotta lay your foot down. You gotta make it clear these people will eat you alive.
This is true.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the stuff that's happened with anime, and basically saying that one person's
no. Here's the thing. That's like no offense there, Soggy, but that's nothing what Nika looks like. That looks nothing. Hang on, I'll show you. I'll send you a picture of what she looks like.
Nika is like
Nika,
if you understand,
there we go.
There we go. Yeah, change a couple letters and you're good. There you go. Original.
There we go. It's an original character for the stream.
So there are almost all of my artist friends I have at least one OC of theirs that I just simp for unironically, and that does not include friends of mine that are not comfortable with their characters being sexualized. In which case, I respect that and will leave that alone. But yes, Nika is that character for Slim. Also, a certain general, which I still stubbornly insist that I can fix.
Oh no, dude, that's not
I can fix her. I can fix her.
That's not happening. She's evil to the bone, buddy. I'm sorry. That's not happening.
You know what? Screw it. I can be a world conquering bastard.
It's a bit of a spoiler, but she kind of pulls a genocide. she attempts a genocide at one point.
Is that supposed to make me less attracted to her?
Travis the Force of Evil genocide or Katra genocide?
Well, it's not. It's more of a realistic genocide. Like basically, like you ever seen Full Metal Alchemist? You ever seen Full Metal Alchemist where they take out the Ishvalans?
Oh,
yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, that's no bueno.
Is this supposed to make me less attracted to her?
Hang on, Soggy. I'm sending you pictures right now. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I gotta go through all this bullshit.
Hey, like I said, I just created our own original character for the stream. Mika.
There you go,
Mika. Grass-eating goat girl.
Who apparently commits genocide.
All right. Look in your Discord. I mean, yeah, Discord things.
Of course. I'm gonna open up my Discord on my phone. Yeah, no one can see me do this. Let's see. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's pretty good. Slim, are you able to like show a picture?
No, wait, me?
No.
Yeah.
Not on here. Not.
Hang on 1 second. Let me see. Yeah, hang on. Give me 1 second.
Just keep an eye on the live thing. Hopefully, we don't get kicked off.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it. Give me 1 second. Share screen. Share screen. Yeah, there.
Yes. Yeah, I'm still on the. Ooh, what's that? Another piece of pizza? Oh, thank you. No, I'm not hungry anymore. Okay. Well, I've already had 2 pieces.
Can you eat it?
Yeah, I'll eat it. Fine.
Yeah, this is what she looks like.
Yes.
So she committed a genocide.
Oh yeah, you can show that one.
No. That's
that's
another character.
It's shit.
That's just
Lady
color.
Hurricane?
You could Lady Hurricane. You can call her Lady Hurricane. She commits here's the thing. Nika is at her worst, because when she first meets Valor in the game, she eventually becomes one of the main characters, part of the heroes group, I guess. But when Valor first meets her, it's like in a Coliseum, and like she like plays up like this big role of a monstrous champion who no one can defeat, right? And of course, when Omen fights her, she kind of gets her ass whooped a bit. But to be fair, like when she fights Omen, it's actually a relatively even match because she's literally her father is the Minotaur god of strength and rage. So she's no pushover. She's no pushover at all. So they fight for a bit. It's kind of a draw a bit. And then like the Coliseum holder, I'm not that far into the story yet, but like the Coliseum holder says, stop the fight. We're going to have a rematch, yada, yada, yada. And they throw Valor and Omen into the dungeon, back into like where they keep the Coliseum competitors, right? And then for some reason the door unlocks, and they said someone like Nika wants to see them at her chambers, and her chambers is like super decked out. She has a bunch of booze, a lot of food, a bunch of men and women just down standby for her, and she like she's like saying hi to Val. She's like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, cause like here's the thing, Nika is shockingly really chill. Like she's a bloodthirsty warrior, but on her off time, she's actually pretty chill. So she's like saying hello to Valor and Omen. She's like, "Oh wait, you've never actually killed anyone in the Coliseum?" She's like, "Well, no, I just give them a good ass whooping, and then I come back here and I chill out." It's basically like a big skate. It's like basically like wrestling. It's essentially like wrestling. So she doesn't actually really kill anyone or do any of this seriously. So she's like, yeah, it's no problem at all. So yeah, that's Nika. She's pretty laid back. She's pretty kicked back. She likes to fight. She likes to drink. She likes to have sex. She likes to eat. And she does have a lot of character development over the story, actually. She, like, for instance, she actually stops. She actually gets a lot more conscious of fighting, because at first she's like super bloodthirsty and loves fighting all the time. But as time goes on, she realizes there's better stuff to be fighting for, essentially.
She fights for more than just the thrill of the fight by the end.
Yeah, like she goes, like at one point she goes back to, because the whole thing about Satyrians is they're in constant battle with each other to keep themselves strong. It's like literally a state of constant war, and she realizes that it's all pointless and futile and stuff like that. And she realizes, wow, I don't want this. I'm going to fight to end war, not to continue it. Essentially, that's what she becomes.
I like that.
Yeah, but that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Sorry, I went on this big tangent.
Anyway,
okay.
All right, since this is supposed to be like a Batman as a character stream, we've spent a lot of time talking about the good and the bad of the Matt Reeves Batman movie. Let's move on. Let's see what else. What are the Batman?
Oh, sorry, Exeter. I just have to get my Callus Master Fish in. Sorry,
I mean, come on. Like, I mean, come on. In our defense, Exeter, like, if you've seen any of our streams before, you should know that we go off on tangents all the time. Like, anytime we have an actual themed stream, there's a good chance that we will go off and start talking about like random other subjects, because ultimately I feel like these streams, although they may have a purpose, like the primary thing that we do in these streams is we just hang out, we have fun,
and sometimes we get drunk beforehand.
Yes, I did not. I don't have any alcohol. Well, that's a lie. I do have some alcohol in the house, but it's like 2 bottles. I have a bottle of Japanese whiskey and a bottle of sake, which I'm waiting for. I actually got this for Christmas. My cousin's boyfriends got them for me for Christmas, which was really awkward because I didn't know he was going to be there and I didn't get him anything.
Oh yeah, you told me the story already.
Yeah, like, so I've just kind of had them sitting in the cabinet because I'm waiting for a time where I can, have a bunch of friends over and just drink. Which, if you guys lived in, in my state, I would definitely like invite you all over and we.
Dude.
I'm telling you, once I get my license and everything in order, I'm going over there, and I need that sake because sake makes a good ramen tare. It makes a fantastic ramen tare. So please.
I will say, better do it quick because I don't know how long I'm still going to be here.
Yeah, I know. I got you.
Wait, where is here again?
I am currently in South Carolina. I'm not going to get any more specific about that publicly.
No, I understand.
If you want to ask like later on, I can DM you. Like, but yeah, I'll let know on public social media. Yeah. I will reveal like my real first name and I'm like the state that I live in, but like nothing more explicit than that.
No. I apologize. I should not have asked that question.
No. You are good. Like you are somebody that I absolutely would trust with all of this information. Like we've been friends for a good while, I'd say.
Likewise, man. Likewise.
Yeah. Woo, friendship.
Oh,
anyway,
man. Bernie says we should talk about Batman and Robin. I tried to talk about Batman and Robin earlier. I mentioned it.
Wait, the animated show or the movie?
The movie.
I haven't seen either. So
okay, so like I said, Gumby, you're missing out because I swear to you, people call Batman the animated series the apex of everything of what Batman is, and honestly, that's not an exaggeration. If anything, it's an understatement because dear God, when I say Batman the animated series is absolutely excellent, it embodies everything amazing about Batman. It's not perfect. Don't get me wrong, not perfect because there's a lot of things we don't talk about Batgirl in the animated series for a very good reason. Well,
also it's kind of interesting to note that there were certain rules that were kind of unspoken, but they couldn't really break. Like, for example, they couldn't
show anybody getting killed, right?
There were people getting killed.
Yeah.
They couldn't show people explicitly getting killed, particularly Batman. They couldn't show him getting flat out murdered. They couldn't show a majority of religion, although somehow they were able to bend that rule with that one episode where I'm not sure if it was Falcone or another mob boss, but it was one of the mob bosses. There was definitely was a priest.
Yeah, there was definitely got away with that. There was a few Catholic references, I think, at the very least.
Yeah, but they really had to fight to put that in.
I heard one thing with that show is that they were a little bit more lenient with some of its violence because of its art style. Like supposedly, but they were harder on Spider-Man because it had a more realistic art style.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that with Batman the animated series is, they actually the thing that made Batman so good is, first of all, the two main minds behind it. It was Bruce Timm and it was Paul Dini. These two were juggernauts. Paul Dini, fantastic writer, does he never misses. Bruce Timm, he just needs someone there. Artist. Yeah, he's a good writer too. He just needs someone there to tell him, calm down. Like, that's enough horny. Calm down, Bruce.
I think we all know the biggest mistake that happened when Bruce Timm was not.
Yeah, we know. We're not gonna go down that rabbit hole just yet. But like, the thing that made it so good is they kind of when they first pitched the idea, they openly admitted from the very beginning they wanted to go all out with this incarnation of Batman. They didn't want to pull any punches. They wanted to pull the least amount of punches as possible when they went out to make this Batman. And the thing about that made it interesting is for the most part, the studio let them get away with it. They let them get away with a lot. Like, for instance, there's there's crap. There's like a lot of domestic abuse. There's a lot of sexual stuff. Like, Jesus Christ, there's a lot of sexual stuff in this cartoon.
Especially in the third season.
Yeah, especially with like Harley Quinn. Like, there's literally an episode where they confirm that yes, she and the Joker do in fact
hey, Mr. J, you want to rev up to Harley?
You make whoopee cushion. Let's put it that way. They make whoopee cushion.
I mean, let's be honest though. What is a clown without at least one cream pie?
But they got away with a lot of stuff. And like, one thing that I think that they really did really fucking well, two things actually. One, the voice acting. Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are the definitive Joker and Batman without a question. There's no question about it. You will never top Kevin. When people say who's the best Batman, it's Kevin Conroy. When people say who's the best Joker, it's Mark Hamill. There's no discussion.
Okay, just out of curiosity, not counting Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, and this is purely who do you think had the best Batman and Joker voices? I will let you include live action.
I think it's unfair to even do like a lot of animated or even like video game ones, because at the end of the day, they're all trying to emulate Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill.
Yes,
So,
they are. Yes,
yeah,
they
but
are.
like in terms of like live action stuff, I will say I still stand by this.
Oh,
Heath Ledger and and like not Joaquin Phoenix did fantastic as they're my favorite live action Jokers easily. Jack Nicholson, for me, it was just another Jack Nicholson performance. He's, in my opinion, Jack Nicholson's relatively one note in my personal opinion. That's just me. But my favorite
Okay.
No, go ahead. What
yes.
I was just gonna say, what about Batman?
John DiMaggio is so different.
Yeah, I will say my favorite Batman. My favorite Bruce Wayne is I'll admit this. I don't really like the Dark Knight's Batman. Like I like the Dark Knight trilogy's Batman. I don't like even what's his name? Chris, what the hell's I keep forgetting his name. Chris fuck it, the actor.
Nolan or Christian Bale.
Hey.
Christian Bale, yeah, Christian Bale. Yeah, Christian Bale. Even he admitted, like, yeah, he really wish he could redo that role because, like, sometimes the voice sounds okay, but other times it's just kind of
awful.
Yeah, it's just awful.
Where is it?
Yeah, thanks, DJ. I appreciate it. Yeah, Christian Bale. But like his Bruce Wayne was actually really good. His Bruce Wayne was actually really, really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
But his Batman was I will say that. I will say that about the Dark Knight trilogy. The Batman wasn't the best. His Bruce Wayne was good though. I will give him that.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
one of the things
guess...
I said. We'll let Jay Step go.
Oh, sorry, man. Okay, I'm gonna have some hot takes on this one. I think if you don't go Kevin Conroy and you don't go Mark Hamill, John DiMaggio was an incredibly great.
Oh yeah, he was. Oh yeah, he was. Really
oh my
good.
God, yes. Like it.
Very
the
different.
freaking.
Very different.
Was that the? That was the.
That was the Red Hood movie.
Under the Red Hood. Yeah, I know.
Under the
Red Hood. Was that the one that it was? What's his name? The guy who voiced Batman. He ended up playing Pike in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek.
I believe so, yes, but he wasn't going to be the one that I was going to say was the best Batman beyond.
Oh yeah, I disagree with that, or not disagree, but I agree that he's not the best, but I did really like him.
Oh, I mean, he was competent. I mean, he did the job the best that he could with what he was given. All right, so I have to really think a little bit about who could be the best Batman, but here could be potentially the best Bruce Wayne, Will Arnett.
Will Arnett was really
Lego Batman.
I think his Batman voice was definitely meant to be a parody of Christian Bale's Batman voice, so like it's a little bit weakened because of that. Like,
it was
meant to take it seriously. But yeah, his Bruce Wayne absolutely phenomenal.
I mean, if you could get an idea of who would never be Batman in a million years, it would be Will Arnett's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Hang on.
So
wait, what was it? Hang on, I'm thinking of his name.
Lego Batman.
Yeah, like dude already said it. Daedric Bader. Daedric Bader did a fantastic job on him in freaking
Brave and the Bold.
Brave and the Bold. He did a really good job. I love Brave and the Bold. Like I didn't like it as a kid. It's weird. I didn't like it as a kid, but I watched it again as a teenager, and I watched because after that I was more into comics. And I realized, wow, this is like a giant love letter to the Silver Age 70s comics. So like it was actually really good. I liked it. Hey, Soggy, can you zoom in on that? I want to see your take on Nika real quick.
She's hot, yo.
She's very nice.
But also, oh yeah, like I was about to say, Kevin Michael Richardson, what's it called? The Batman, the other Batman TV show where it was like Batman early on. What was it called? It was like Batman something.
No, it was just the Batman.
Yeah, it was just the Batman. He did a really good job in that because it was a really, really unique take on Joker. Mm-hmm. That's what made it really good. Like it was such a unique take, like this weird feral like jungle man Joker. That was really good. Like that was genuinely unique. I'm actually legitimately disappointed that they toned it down over the rest of the series.
Like that first episode where he was just bouncing all over the place, very like the way he fought was almost ape-like. That was perfect.
I mean, I think I probably know why, because he was very ape-like and he was voiced by a black
Kevin Michael Richardson. Yes, I know. But still, I mean, come on. Like, and speaking of which, Kevin Michael Richardson, aside from Mark Hamill, is my favorite Joker voice. And funny that DJ should mention Troy Baker, because although I thought he was a good Joker voice, I think Troy Baker's
isn't that
was a little bit.
No, never mind.
No, he was Joel in The Last of Us.
He played. If you've seen a generic male character in a video game, odds are it's Troy Baker.
Either him or Nolan North.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Troy Baker. His version of the Joker I thought was really good, but it was very clearly just supposed to be a younger Mark Hamill's Joker. So I'm not gonna say he's my favorite, just because like ultimately I don't think he was really able to make the role his.
Yeah, because like I said, like most
nothing against him, but
yeah, no, like I said, it's not really fair to do a lot of like animated or even like video game versions of the characters, because again, a lot of them just try to emulate Kevin Conroy and Troy Baker. I mean, not Troy Baker, Mark Hamill. Like that's what they always try to emulate. They are again they're the place setters. That's the standard you got to live up to every time.
Yeah. Now that said, Troy Baker, even though he's not my favorite Joker, he actually is my favorite voice actor for Batman, aside from Kevin Conroy. Because he portrayed Bruce Wayne and Batman in the Batman Telltale series, which Exeter actually mentioned that earlier as being a really good alternative to the 2022 Batman movie. He's like, his portrayal of Bruce Wayne, it was believable as a sort of younger Bruce Wayne, like not really fully used to the Batman yet. And his Batman voice, it was a little bit like Ben Affleck's Batman voice, where it was like modulated through tech, which I actually really liked. But it wasn't like overly done. It was a little bit more subtle. And yeah, Exeter Telltale's Batman series is fantastic. 100% agree. I actually am a really big fan of Telltale and their games. Every single one that I've played, I've enjoyed. The only complaints I can really have is that the engine that they tended to use seemed a little bit unstable, so I got a lot of glitches in like every single time I played it.
I just find it weird they always use the same art style every time. It's just kind of weird to me.
Well, and that's the thing. I actually really like their.
I like the art. I like the art style fine. It's just that it's just sometimes it's weird seeing certain characters looking like that. I guess I don't know.
I think it's perfect. Unfortunately, I do think they toned it down a little bit. Like there was the first Wolf Among Us and the first Walking Dead that were very
Gumby. Among Us. Sorry, I can help it.
I swear to God, the temptation to just leave the stream is so high right now. But in the first, the wolf.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Soggy. I'm sorry. Soggy, I'm looking at this thread of people going off on Reddit about how the bug got with Gadget at the end.
Yeah, that was probably the most disturbing thing about the whole movie.
Remember me, Chip? When I fucked your Gadget, I talk just like this. They stopped to consider for a second. How this can affect her hordes of loyal fans. Of course not. They have no shame. They just pulled the rug out from under us. He fucked her. He infected her womb with shit orbiting hand rubbing insect seed. And you know what? She loved it. She begged for more. He literally made her a breeding factory. This is the face of the man who won it all. I'm not reading all that with this.
Good God, that's like that was like the other like that one stream. I want to say it was with Sauron. It was one of the Smash or Pass streams we did. I can't remember if it was yours or Sauron's.
Which characters were on there?
No, it would have been Sauron's because it wasn't Disney focused.
Okay, yeah, that was Sauron.
Where I was doing I did the whole Patrick Bateman super excited explanation impression, except I was just reading on that Vaporeon post.
Oh no!
Yeah, that's actually one of my proudest moments. Is that like I didn't even have to say it. Like I did say it, but I didn't have to, and like people recognized that I was doing the Patrick Bateman thing, and I was like, you know what, that makes me feel good. I probably shouldn't, because it's Patrick Bateman, but.
Anyway,
I don't
speaking
know
of,
where I was going with that.
Anyway, can I ask you guys something?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think Harley, speaking of Batman, do you think Harley Quinn will they ever go back to the original good Harley, the classic Harley Quinn? Do you think they'll ever go back to that?
Forever?
Not for a while. They with the belief that they think that this Dumbledore crap that they pulled is the best way to go.
Well, to be fair, it's not really Dumbledore. It's not really a Dumbledore thing because in the original,
man.
It's in the original animated show. They literally did have one. They had numerous episodes with her and Poison Ivy. They confirmed that yes, they were in a relationship and they were bisexual.
I'm sorry, I got to call it Dumbledore on this. And here's the reason why: the Poison Ivy Harley Quinn comic, they showed no interest in that kind of relationship in that comic, but recent year they put that in. That's a total Dumbledore.
No, I'm saying
my
the whole
on it is, even if you want to make Harley bisexual, I'm generally okay with that. Okay, that's a lie. I'm not okay with that. I don't agree with swaps on race or sexuality, but I don't think Poison Ivy is the good match. I don't think she is somebody who should be a match with anybody.
Here's the thing I'm trying to say here. I'm not saying it was handled well. I'm saying I wouldn't call it a Dumbledore because at the very end of the day, this is something that was brought up in the original show. It was brought up once when she first teamed up with when she broke up with the Joker
20 years afterwards. That's the problem.
But here's the thing,
again, they had a comic where they showed there was no interest.
I remember watching it as a little girl, and I read it as girlfriends. I thought they were girlfriends.
But the whole thing is she broke up with the Joker, so she needed someone else to be emotionally dependent on. So here's the thing, I'm not against the idea of her being bisexual. I'll even go even further and say I don't think it was pulling a Dumbledore because I get what you're saying, J-Step. I think and it just may sound like I'm being one of those people, but I think at the time they couldn't be explicit about it, and that's why.
Oh,
and I think once it became current year, they kind of exploited the fuck out of it. Now I do agree that I think people need to remember that in the when they first got with each other, the whole point was that Ivy was just as emotionally abusive as Joker. That was the whole point. So it's not a good thing, and they keep trying to make it a good thing. That's why they're pushing for Harley Quinn to become a hero, and they're pushing for fucking Poison Ivy to become less of a villain and more of an anti-hero, because they want them to be a positive representation of a gay relationship. And again, like I said, I'm not against that idea of them being bisexual or whatever. I genuinely don't care. It's that they exploited the fuck out of it. That's where I'm
heroification.
They exploited the fuck out of it. And again, it kind of destroyed their characters because of it. Because now Poison Ivy can't be a genuine threat anymore because they have to make her. Oh, she's not. If you wanted a character who was like what Poison Ivy is today, a better character will be Swamp Thing. Swamp Thing genuinely struggles between not wanting to kill humanity and wanting to protect the environment. That's Swamp Thing's thing. Literally, Poison Ivy hates Swamp Thing because he won't go through with it. She thinks Swamp Thing is a pussy. Point is, I don't mind it. It's the fact that they exploited it. That's my whole. And this a very similar thing happened with Batwoman.
I'm legitimately worried right now.
Okay. Well, I want to stay on the whole thing with Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn just a second. We'll get to Batwoman, I promise. But here's the thing: when Paul Dini, I think it was Paul Dini, but it was definitely Bruce Timm, had a chance to make a comic when it was a little bit more socially acceptable to have lesbians. They chose to basically show them as being friends, and actually, when I say friends, that's being generous. But they basically showed Poison Ivy wanting to actively kill Harley Quinn. There was no romantic there was no romantic chemistry.
Like I said before, the whole point is like, yeah, she gets dependent on somebody else if you think it's going better. And the whole point is that Ivy is just as bad as the Joker. That's my point. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, respect.
Yeah, and I'm not like I said, I don't think they should be. Oh, they should be together. There should totally be a couple together. But like I said, I don't. Like I said, my problem isn't the fact that she's gay or bisexual, or whatever. My problem is, like I said, they exploited the fuck out of it, and it kind of, you could, that's my whole problem.
Okay, well, I think that they could
potentially work as an girlfriend adventures, but I still want them melting people's faces off. Still have them be villains.
Yeah.
I totally know them being gay, but I want them to be villains.
Well, that's kind of what happened in the Harley Quinn comic. In the New 52, they had like a moment where Harley Quinn had a hit put on her, and here's the funny part: she put it on herself. Long story. And Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy were kind of palling around, and they hinted that they were kind of a non-committal couple, and they worked really well because, again, Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy have literally nothing in common except the fact that they're villains. But it worked okay after it's like, okay, we basically have our fun. Poison Ivy does her thing. Harley Quinn does her thing, and it's all good. But, again, the way that she's portrayed right now just is weird because, again, they have nothing in common. And literally, they've broken up several times. They've broken up twice in canon, once in Injustice, another time. Let's see, I think it was in like one of the other Elseworld comics. They don't work as a couple, and they're really trying to force it. And the only reason why it's somewhat working, I put that in quotations, with the Harley Quinn show comic, is they're forcing it so much, and they have a really incompetent writer. So sorry, I'm done.
Yeah,
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Here's something that I'm actually gonna say, and this is something that, in order for me to actually do, I would have to create yet another DC AU, or DC Universe AU, not DC Animated Universe.
Well, I could animate it, but it's gonna take me about 7 years.
All right, let's do it, man.
All right, fine. Pay me first, you bastard.
I don't have income, sir. This is something that
I only agree to help if we do my queer Superman. The man from yesterday.
I can't.
No, I actually thought of a queer Superman. But but part of the storyline is the fact that he doesn't age.
Well, I mean,
and he's living in some Superman small town in Ohio, and everyone's protecting his identity.
Like, there's it's like 50-50 whether Superman ages or not in a lot of stories. I
see, J-Step. I see Jess is drawing your favorite.
Yeah. But one thing that I kind of want to do, this is a headcanon of mine, is that I like to imagine that Joker recruited Harley around the time that Tim Drake was Robin. This is just my personal headcanon. Obviously, it's not accurate, and after, the whole Red Hood thing, and then later on when, Harley ended up leaving Joker because, she started to grow a bit of a conscience. Not much of one, but a bit. Mm-hmm. I sort of headcanon that her and Jason, and that's why I had her be introduced so late, so that their ages would match up a little bit more. But her and Jason ended up as like some sort of like anti-hero partnership, and then later on like an actual romantic partnership.
Well, I don't know. Like, I personally think I think Harley could work as a solo. She doesn't need anyone. She could be a good solo character on her own. It's just that she's just been handled by idiots. Like that. It's just that she's just been handled by idiots.
Well, here's
to be fair, you could say that about
her own
almost
solo
every character.
series with the New 52, and it was actually pretty good.
It was okay. Like
Again,
like
pretty good.
well, that's just me. Personally, like, how to put this? I personally, that idea is interesting, but also, by the way, it's implied that she fooled around with Nightwing in the DCAU. Apparently,
Oh,
Yes.
it's definitely more than.
Oh
That's
God,
canon.
yeah.
yeah. She tied him down and had two butts.
But yeah, my like one thing. Here's the thing. I can't believe I'm saying this. In my Batman universe, god damn it. Harley Quinn has very much. I wanted to give more focus on her. Like, she's been hurt almost her entire life by her father, by her teachers, because like in her original comic, like it's revealed, like she basically it's heavily implied she slept with her teachers to get ahead in college.
I think that's hilarious, by the way.
But here's the weird part. She is actually like genuinely intelligent. She is actually a good psychiatrist. Well, not good enough for the Joker, obviously, but still. In my version, one thing I wanted to do is, you know how like Harley is like unexplained, like super powerful and like super durable with like no explanation. Well,
I think they basically made her like Domino, but go on.
Well, like here's the thing. In my version, like the thing is, Joker lobotomized her. Kind of lobotomized her. So like literally the part of her brain that like shows restraint and feels pain doesn't work anymore. So she could literally like, so she's like, so like, yeah. And one of the reasons like humans can't use like 100% of our strength is because like we have these neural things in our brains that literally stop us from using full strength. Like honestly, if we didn't have those, we could like rip the flesh off of bones if we wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like Harley. She literally doesn't have that receptor in her brain that feels pain. So whenever she gets,
you made her Darkman. Dude, I fucking love Darkman.
I do too.
Still haven't seen it actually. It's been on my list for a while, but then I just haven't had time.
It's like the shit. It's literally the most Sam Raimi superhero movie ever. That's literally what it is. Like the most Sam Raimi superhero movie ever.
It's so amazing.
I gotta watch it.
But she's literally, but all those things is literally why she doesn't seem to be able to feel any pain or get hurt. But here's the thing, she can still get hurt emotionally by the Joker. Like that's the whole gimmick here. She can't get hurt physically, but the Joker can like hurt her emotionally, I guess. Also in my version, he's called Mr. J. He's just mostly called Mr. J, and he's a failed TV comedian.
Mr. J or Mr.
Mr. J.
Okay, my bad.
Nah, it's straight.
So that's not just what Harley calls him. That's what most people call him.
Yeah, well, obviously, like, yeah, like all of his like, he also has some new goons I'm gonna make. They also call him Mr. J. Like the only person who really calls him Joker is Batman. But pretty much everyone under him calls him Mr. J. Charlie Quinn. But little Charlie Quinn tries to find a way. You guys remember Charlie Brown? Like that was his actual theme for a while.
I do not.
I didn't know that. Oh, Darkman. If I remember, he made Darkman because he couldn't get the rights to Batman. Or it was something like that.
Raimi
like
has been wanting to do a Batman movie for
he wanted to do a Batman movie. He wanted to do a Batman movie for years.
I really do want to see what would happen if Raimi got to do like a trilogy of Batman.
That would be the greatest thing ever. Like, can you imagine Sam fucking Raimi with characters like fucking Joker and Scarecrow?
Dude,
like,
you know he would rely hard on Scarecrow. Yeah, and imagine like that to be an R-rated, because obviously we've seen that Batman can work pretty well in like a M/R-rated environment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like one of
dude,
like
Burning, you're so correct. Darkman is one of his. It's one of his best movies. It's just overall one of his best.
Yeah.
Movies.
Also, Liam Neeson does a fantastic job in that film. I love Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson is a great actor.
Oh, he's so good.
I don't think I've seen him in anything that I haven't loved him in. Speaking of Liam Neeson, I know this has nothing to do with Batman, but speaking of Liam Neeson, have you seen A Monster Calls?
A what?
Yes.
A Monster Calls.
Yeah, so good.
I
haven't
cried so hard.
Wait, I need to hang on. What is it? Monster? I gotta look this up. Hang on.
A Monster Calls. It's got Liam Neeson, Sigourney Weaver, and Felicity Jones.
So good. It's one of my mom's favorite movies.
Great movie. It will rip out your heart. And you know what? I love it when movies make you cry. And this definitely
I love
did.
how this went from Batman stream to a Monster Call stream. Oh no! Now we're back to the.
I'm gonna have to check that. I'm gonna have to check that out eventually.
I think it's still on Netflix. So yeah, like.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't have Netflix, as I'm not a pedo. But sorry, I'm just joking. I'm drunk, guys. I'm drunk.
I can tell.
Yeah, I would say. In my I already gone over my version of Batman. I would make Poison Ivy like a swamp witch. But I'd also I already showed people off my version of Killer Croc, where he's kind of like a gangster who runs who's like a retired boxer of the meta human fights.
Oh.
And he's I want him to be more like a Tombstone from I want to pull like a Tombstone from Spectacular Spider-Man, where it's like, he used to be like a low-level goon in most no, he's a mob boss here. He's a straight-up mob boss.
So you think Croc would you think he would have any connection to Ted Grant? Since he's a boxer?
Ted just did normal
yeah,
fights,
that's fair. He's not a metahuman. So
yeah, I mean, he has fought metahumans in Meta Brawl before, and meta fights before, but yeah, I could see that working. He could be because Ted's a bit fat. Yeah, he's you could have him show up to
help.
You can have show up to Batman. And he's you could even be he's the person who taught Batman to fight in the beginning, because remember, he does train a lot of low-level heroes.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention he's Batman's also close to Black Canary too. So it would be
But didn't they have sex in one issue?
No, they've never been together. They're just close.
Yeah, it's more of a sort of brother-sister relationship.
Yeah, they're he's they're close. They're close,
not the Alabama kind.
Yeah, they're close. They're close, but they're not.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that page from that weird child sex education book going around where the wording is so bad?
We are not mentioning it. We are not mentioning it. We are not mentioning it.
Soggy, I want to stay in a good mood while drunk, so please. But he's definitely fucks Zatanna though. Zatanna, he's fucked. he's fucked her at least once. They've slept together once at least, at the very least. You do not talk to me they always him and Zatanna, yeah, but him and Black Canary, him and Black Canary, they're brother and sister.
Ironically, Dinah did bang Bruce once, if I remember correctly.
I don't know, man. Yeah, in this also what else? Yeah, you could have Ted Grant come back to see if Batman is still not rusty, and he'll be they'll still fight, stuff like that. And maybe he might go see Croc and ask for a rematch or something like that. I don't know, something. What else? Scarecrow. Scarecrow is like a drug dealer, cause the fear toxin is more like a drug in this world. Also,
God.
What?
Comment.
What?
I don't
know. It's a loose idea. For Scarecrow, it's a loose idea because I haven't really fleshed him out yet.
No, not you. It's the Abdullah's comment.
Oh God, I don't want to talk about that. But who else? Fuck. Yeah, I was kind of like that with the Mad Hatter. He actually has a club called the Rabbit Hole, and he lures blonde girls looking for an Alice, but when they don't meet his criteria, he shaves their heads, puts them under a spell, and put bunny mask on them to become like his slaves. Yeah, it's not pretty. That's not pretty at all. What else? Who else? I want Ra's al Ghul to kind of have history with Batman, and I want history between him and Talia, a long time, I kind of want to take that from
Oh, hey, Daps. Your name is Abdullah?
Oh, God.
Wait, Daps? Who's Daps?
Daps, Kung Pao Puss.
Oh, hey, what's up, dude? My bad. I had that's 3 different names. I have no idea.
Yeah, Daps is a bro, though. He's honestly I stream most Saturdays, and if there's an indicator saying there's one viewer but he's not saying anything, it's 9 times out of 10 that's Daps, and he's just chilling there making sure I get views because he's a bro.
I'd pop in, but
Nice.
2 things. 1, I don't feel like downloading Twitch, and 2, I'm usually doing something. Sorry, dude.
That's fine. No, it's fine. I don't mind. Usually, I only expect 1 or 2 people to come by, and I usually just prefer to have conversations with people while I'm playing, because that gives me stuff to say that's not just, oh, that looks nice, oh, I'm gonna kill that dude, and it's et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I mean, I don't ever hold any expectations for anybody to come. I stream, and if it makes one person happy, then that's cool. And yeah, Dobbs, you're all good, man. Just come by when you can and when you want to, and we'll have a good time.
Now I gotta draw all this Batman stuff now. Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
I'm actually storyboarding for a comic. I don't know if you guys want to
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this that priest comic you've been talking about?
Oh no, it's another one of those funny comics I'd written. Day.
Okay, what's the theme?
Okay, so that's a Hulk or Bruce / Betty Hulk Red Harpy sort of comic, except I'm doing 2 of them where it's kind of like one person's hitting on Bruce and Betty doesn't like it. The other is someone hitting on Betty and Bruce doesn't like it, and it's kind of that sort of thing, how they end up handling that whole thing.
You mean kind of like what happened in the Ultimates, where Betty went on a date with Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Wait, what?
Yep, in the Ultimates, the Hulk was actually Hulk-free for a long time. He was trying to recreate the serum that basically made him. He wasn't very successful because obviously he couldn't Hulk out and be able to stay him. And everyone was losing faith in him. They compared him to Steve Buscemi. And the last straw was when he heard that Betty Ross was on a date with Freddie Prinze Jr. And that's basically when he hulked out.
Yeah, he hulked out, and didn't he eat the dude?
He tried to eat the dude.
No. He didn't try to eat the dude. He tried to rape him, then eat him.
Oh my god!
Right?
What?
Yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, but he ate like
the
8 other
Ultimate
Wow.
is just. And then I remember
comic writer. Please
and
stay
then I
away from
remember
that.
him. There was a like they put him in prison after that, and he's talking to Betty, and he's like describing like what it felt like to eat somebody, and he's like all horrified by it, and like because this is like legitimately him like venting to her because he's like, wow, I went through this horrible thing, like I really didn't want to do this, and she gets turned on hearing about him eating people, and I'm like,
Ew.
And like some other nurse was like mentally torturing him before they tried to put him down. I don't remember if they were successful, but I know for a fact that that some nurse because they basically kept him in a room that was constantly filled with laughing gas or some kind of gas to keep him calm and stuff like that. But some nurse kept on putting in like papers and other reports of him killing people and shit. And it was
Here's Ultimates was really, really, really fucked up. Soggy, I don't know how much you know about Ultimates, but I'll tell you this much. The only good thing that came out of Ultimates was Spider-Man, and even then, they ruined it.
Yeah.
Like Soggy, it starts off with like all of Ultimates kicks off with a sex tape between Black Widow and Tony Stark.
The hell?
Yeah, there's also incest, a lot more gore. Like a lot of gore, like people
I heard about
gore, cannibalism.
Steve Rogers cucked Hank Pym, if I remember correctly.
And then Hank Pym cucked him. Yeah, because there was a part where like Steve Rogers was going out with the Wasp, and then the Wasp found out, oh wow, this guy is really boring. So she ended up sleeping with her ex-husband, the guy who basically told a bunch of ants to try and like hurt her or kill her or something like that. They basically went after her, and yet he was still a much more interesting guy than the guy who basically fought for her honor.
I mean, she is a woman, so what are you gonna do?
Hey.
You're talking to the dude in like the most stable relationship.
But I'm joking for all. Jess, this is a joke, by the way. This is a joke. What I find, there's also the fact that the Blob literally eats Wasp alive.
Yes. And he said it tastes like chicken.
God, yeah.
Yeah, and then
I know about that.
And then like Thor gets like a woman pregnant, and I think it was Hela got pregnant.
Yeah, and like it was because like I remember seeing a panel where he's like, "Wait, we were only together like last night. How are you?" Because she was like 9 months pregnant the next day.
And then like Hulk had literally a harem of women, and again, like this version of Hulk was a killer and a rapist.
Yeah, it did very much more Jekyll and Hyde.
And also, Steve Rogers' son ripped off his face and became the new Red Skull.
Yes, and wasn't Thor like not even actually Thor? It was just some guy with tech.
I don't remember. There was so much bull.
I think it was actually Thor, but everyone thought he was crazy. But it doesn't matter because in the end, they nuked. I think they basically destroyed the Ultimates universe, and the only one who survived was Miles Morales.
No, Reed Richards survived as well.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Yeah, because there's like
the supervillain called the Maker.
Yeah, there's literally canonically they do a whole multiverse thing where there's and this is like from Rick and Morty too. They literally have like a council of Reed Richards from different universes.
Mm.
And they all have Infinity Gauntlets. It's weird. Jesus Christ, what the fuck happened to comics? No, here's the thing. Here's the thing, Saw. Here's the thing. Reed Richards is not a bad husband or father. That is very much just a lot of people who.
Dude, I just said I didn't call him a bad husband or father. I called him a dickhead.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It really depends. Like sometimes I think a lot of times, like he's a good dude.
I think he's a bad husband.
No, he's not. No, I wouldn't call him a bad husband because at his like at worst, like the reason is he's just like again, he's the smartest. Like canonically, yes, he is probably the smartest person, the smartest man in.
He is so
in the what'd you say?
He's such a sexist. He's always like the fact that when his wife, his wife went evil for a little while. He slapped her in the face and went, "Stop acting like a woman."
I mean, like like to be fair, like what are you gonna do when someone you love is evil? You slap them, tell them to snap the fuck out of it. I will say,
dude, he released Scroll-Me into the public. No, here's the one he released Scroll-Me into the public. He took a bunch of scrolls, brainwashed them into believing they were cows, and then the cows got picked up. Several of them got milked, and scroll milk got into the system. And I think one of them got butchered, and a bunch of people like got infected with scroll meat.
I'm sorry, what was this? When? Why? How?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Like Reed Richards is written extremely inconsistently. Like sometimes people do make him an asshole. Some people don't. Here's the thing about Reed Richards. People don't understand. He's not a bad guy. You won't even call him a bad husband. Like most of the time, he's not a bad husband. He's just very. The dude is clearly autistic. Like the dude is clearly autistic. He's just so hyper fixated on so many different. Richards. Yeah, like he's just so hyper fixated on so many different things. But
the version where he comes off like the guy from The Accountant.
Yeah, it's just like he really is socially inept and doesn't know how to interact with people a lot of the time. And like I said, he is probably the smartest person in the Marvel universe. The only person rivaling him, the only person rivaling him is probably Hank Pym. And the only reason I'm calling that out is because Hank Pym's literally called Scientist Supreme. But even then, you want to go for that. Point is, at the very end of the day, Reed Richards, Richard Richards really does love his family and does care about his wife and stuff like that. Again, he's just so absent-minded and very socially inept and hyper-fixated on so many different things that he does forget, to cater to his wife sometimes. I don't think that makes him a bad husband overall. I just think that those times where he is a douchebag husband, it's writers writing him very inconsistently. Like I will say the best Fantastic Four run is John Byrne. John Byrne is the GOAT when it comes to Fantastic Four, in my opinion.
He's the GOAT, period.
Yeah.
Don't get the one where
except where he kind of sometimes like he's kind of like Bruce Timm. Sometimes you just gotta tell him that's enough, no more horny for you, because literally his Superman, literally like Big Barda literally got introduced to Superman because she was hypnotized she was hypnotized into believing she was a sex slave, essentially. She did a lot of demeaning things. And when Superman found out about this, that's how he found out about the new gods, essentially.
He's like, yeah, oh God, I can't just let this happen.
Yeah, like they almost starred a porno together, and she's like under the mind control of an apocalypse guy named Sleaze. His name is literally Sleaze. But again, John Byrne is still great. I do find it funny that people say this, but like also need to remember like Sue Storm, she's cucked Reed so many times at this point. Like she how many times she's fallen into the hands of Namor? Like I'm just like, bruh, like
his hands wasn't what she fell into.
Look at Burning Exector.
Talk about how baffling
and fucked up it was.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah, here's the thing. I will say this. People need to understand this. Canonically, like, I know this is gonna sound weird, but most versions of Batgirl, she's used like the whole like Batgirl being a lot younger than Batman thing is relatively recent. I'm just gonna be real. Like almost all incarnations of Batgirl, when she becomes Batgirl, she's in her early 20s, extremely late teens, early 20s. So like this whole like
no,
maybe
the
like
first one was an early teen.
Well, the very
I mean,
first,
like the first
not
one
Barbara
who was
Gordon.
made No, I'm talking about the one who was made specifically to be Robin's girlfriend and Batwoman's sidekick.
Yeah, like
we're talking about Barbara Gordon. Though.
I'm talking about Barbara Gordon.
Okay.
Yeah, like I think you're talking about Stephanie Brown. Like this, like
no, not Stephanie Brown. There was back in like the Golden Age, there was a Batwoman and Batgirl that were made to be basically in order to give
heterosexual life partners
and Dick Grayson basically girlfriends, and that was as a response to several like theories that Bruce Wayne and his 11-year-old sidekick were in a homosexual relationship, which is fucking stupid.
I always thought that was just like one of those weird jokes that kind of work for the time but don't really work now, and just
Point is, like I said, Barbara Gordon.
Prevalent, they gave him girlfriends.
Anyway, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl specifically. Anyway, literally, like most incarnations have her become Batgirl when she's in her early 20s. I'm just saying, like, so people saying like, oh well, he probably like I'm not saying it's not creepy, because again, he's almost like, and he's in his mid to late 30s. He's in her early 20s. It's creepy still, especially considering his relationship with Gordon. But like this whole idea of, oh, he probably like watched her grow up and all that stuff. Basically, my point at the end of the day is most incarnations have her closer to Batman's age than Robin's. Because like most times she meets Robin, like Dick Grayson, which always makes it weird when they put them together. Dick Grayson is 11 to 12 years old. Whenever Batgirl's in the picture, like she's in her early 20s, so she's close. So like her being in a relationship with Batman would be less creepy. Ironically, would be less creepy. I get the point that they're going for, like in this, because at this point, what they did in The Killing Joke specifically, and again in the animated series, yeah, like at least have Batgirl.
Yeah, we don't talk about the first 30 minutes of Killing Joke animation.
Yeah, but like
everything after that,
at that point,
good,
but like again, like at that point, like she was already established for a lot of people to kind of be like this I guess uncle niece relationship. That was a lot of the public perception at the time when this came out. And again, like this isn't anything new. And guess what? Guess who was in charge of the writing of The Killing Joke?
Bruce Timm,
buddy.
I'm gonna say that I think that they basically had to add in some more time, because they probably saw that, because it feels so disjointed. Like, they basically made the good part of The Killing Joke very close to the comic, but then they did Batgirls, and it just seemed they tried to add more. I'm not sure.
Yeah, you could do more, like expand on Barbara Gordon, because like again, this is a very traumatic and very huge, impactful story for her. And I will admit, like in The Killing Joke, she wasn't really given a lot to do outside of being like a victim of Joker's crime in that situation. I do find it funny, like the whole point of The Killing Joke was to keep the situation ambiguous about whether or not Batman actually went through it or not. But then they show Barbara Gordon in the wheelchair, and like when she's in the wheelchair, like Batman still deals with the Joker. So yes, they kind of confirmed that Batman didn't go through it, that he didn't crack, even though like the ambiguity of the end of Killing Joke was the interesting part of it. They kind of said, no, fuck you. He didn't go through with it. But I do find that I do think that's a good idea. And I do think I even like the angle that they went with, like, hey, she's kind of like hesitant about being Batgirl anymore. She wants to get out of the Batman world. She wants to get out of that. That's a good idea.
I did always
the reason
prefer.
Why she wanted to get out was so weird, though. I mean, it's like stuff that almost.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's done well. I'm saying like you could have done something with that. You just did not. That was just the worst direction you could have gone with. They clearly thought throwing a bunch of feminist crap at it would make it better, I guess, because like there was a lot of feminist crap. She had to deal with like a misogynist villain. Like she was like dealing with the guy, like arguing with his girlfriend, and like she literally has a gay best friend in the movie. It's just so dumb. It's
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm done.
No, but I think the worst part about it, the thing that actually upset me. I mean, all the other stuff I probably could forgive, but the fact that she compares her trauma to what Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson, and Grayson went through, like, what she went through there was the same as their looking into the abyss, was just so pretentious. And I'm just like, you're really comparing to losing your parents on that night. Now, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt that maybe she didn't know.
What she went through was horrible. Like I said, she got shot. She's literally paralyzed.
I'm not talking about that part. I'm talking about the part before that. Because the part, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize about that.
No, you're fine.
But no, she didn't talk about the whole abyss thing then when she got shot. I mean, because that part, yeah, that was awful. But no, I'm talking about before that, when she started thinking that she didn't want to be part of the Bat family anymore. This is before the Joker. She was like, "Oh wow, I really now understand about looking into the abyss and everything." I'm like, "No, you don't. You didn't lose your freaking father, much less your mother and father at the same time. You were mildly inconvenienced by some sexist pig." That man, sorry, this upset me.
Yeah, I get that makes yeah.
Honestly, anytime, and I don't even think sexism is a bad topic to like have, but like every time it gets discussed, it almost like they almost try to make it seem like, oh yeah, sexism is just as bad as like murder. And it's like, I don't see that as
like
a thing. Like, yeah, it's kind of douchey. But it's
there's a lot of sexism related murders. The fact that
I'm just saying, like,
fear for retaliation.
I'm not talking about like sexism motivated murder. I'm talking about just
people comparing that to actual crimes, like saying, "Oh, I got catcalled." That was the same thing as being sexually assaulted. It's not the same thing. Don't pretend it is. That's the part.
I've been assaulted in public, and had it condoned or like approved by teachers. Like it's really fucked up. Like,
but like what Gumby's trying to say is like, and this does happen a lot. Like they justify extreme measures of violence or extreme. Like a great example of this is
my most violent moments was when I was had some boy write something explicit to me and steal it from my backpack. I grabbed him by his head and slammed his head in the desk several times. Sexism does cause violent reactions.
No, what I'm trying to say is like it's this idea that being like Gumby said, being sexist is the worst thing you could possibly be. Like, people basically like hurting and attacking people for saying mildly sexist remarks. And I'm just gonna be real, that's no bueno. Like they say it's a genuinely good thing to say, like, oh well, you got a nice ass. Like that's enough to like beat someone's fucking head in. I'm just gonna say that's unhinged. That's unhinged for you to start beating someone's head in for saying that.
No, I had this guy write something really sexually explicit.
I'm not attacking you or anything. I'm not saying that or anything. I'm just saying and he stole the
evidence from me.
Yeah, it's like
I was also raised to not say no, or I was raised to not take shit. Like, and I always thought it was weird for people to verbally fight when you have two perfectly good fists.
I think there's a very distinct difference. there's a very distinct difference between insults and sexual remarks, which I'm not going to say those are okay. They're not. They're very, very much not. But they don't. There's a certain level of you almost get to, and this isn't the same in every single case. This is more of a generalization, which if you have any sort of knowledge of me, I hate generalizations. I don't think there's always going to be exceptions to this, but generally the individual hearing the words that are insulting them gets to decide how that truly affects them. And whereas if somebody punches me in the face, I don't just get to choose that didn't break my nose. I don't know what the dude said. I don't know the full circumstances behind it. But I don't know.
It was more the fact that he reached into my. It was also the fact that he reached into my personal bag and stole from me.
Also not okay. Definitely not okay. And that's definitely there's a difference between that and just saying something.
Yeah,
stealing something from
harassed me. I was going to use the evidence against him, and he went into my backpack and stole it.
Yeah, sorry, Smug. I had to mute you for a second. I got a little loud. I'm not gonna lie to you. But the thing about it is, you can unmute yourself, whatever. I don't care. But the thing about it is, I hate this idea that, I'm not trying to downplay what you went through, Soggy. I'm just trying to say, in a lot of fiction nowadays, it seems it's being deemed acceptable to like I said, mildly annoying shit. In greeting it with extreme violence is being deemed acceptable.
Yeah, they're not showing real actual examples of sexual assault, or everything I see on TV is nowhere near the sort of sexual assault I went through during middle and high school.
Yeah,
like I'm saying, it is kind of like I said, with the with the whole Batgirl situation, she had to fight a misogynist. I'm okay, that sucks, but that's you probably fought off literally you fought off worse people. You fought off murderers, you fought off probably rapists, you probably fought off even pedophiles. At the end of the day, you fought off worse. This guy getting under your skin, that's not the equivalent of going through some serious trauma.
That's part of the plot. That's part of the plot.
That's literally this conversation.
I mean, sorry, Killing Joke.
She literally.
Sorry, I forgot this was the Killing Joke.
Yeah,
I thought this was Batgirl the movie for a second.
No, it's literally. No. Well, that's actually what the Killing Joke is for the first half hour, to be fair. But I'm not even exaggerating. It's basically Batgirl the movie, but she has to deal with this generic goon who makes a lot of sexist remarks, and it gets under her skin, and that's it. That's all she has to deal with for the first 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, and as I was saying before, she's basically comparing that.
No, that'd be it'd
Batman
be very different if wait, she compares that to Batman's trauma. Oh,
yeah,
and Dick Grayson.
That's how this conversation started, is because we're saying that just some asshole being sexist is nowhere near it's not remotely
I was thinking
close
she got sexually assaulted during a takedown.
Well, it's ironic. It's ironic.
She was being sexually assaulted at work.
Well, it's kind of ironic because, as you know, in the Killing Joke, it's heavily implied that the Joker may. Yeah, it's to be fair. The actual writers of the book, it was Morris said, yeah, she wasn't actually assaulted. He just took pictures of her naked. He didn't actually sexually assault her.
That's borderline. I'd say
it's still
that's
assault.
Yeah. Like don't get me wrong. It's still fucked up. It's still fucked up. It's still fucked up. I'm acknowledging that. I'm not saying it's not bad. It's not bad. I'm saying like at the end of the day, when it first came out, it was heavily implied that he just straight up raped her and sexually assaulted her. But then like the creators came forward, kind of copped out, said, okay, he just take pictures of her naked. He didn't actually rape her, which is just as bad. Don't get me wrong, it's pretty bad. But I guess you could find some relief in like he didn't actually do anything beyond that. Yeah, she didn't do anything beyond that. He just took pictures of her naked and showed them to Gordon. And that's about it. He like I said, when it first came out, it was clear as day that's the route they were going. Like it was obvious that's what they were doing. But then they said, nah, that didn't happen. He just took pictures of her naked. Ironically, they still try to pretend like they wanted to keep the ending vague about whether or not he killed Joker or not. That's the funny part. They wanted to still keep that ambiguity, even though we know for a fact, considering that, even after she becomes Oracle, she's still, Joker's still around. So, like, yeah, we know for a fact. They still, no, dude, it's completely ambiguous. You don't know. It's like, yeah, we do.
And let's be honest, though, like, if Joker's already killed Jason by that point, so like if Batman's not going to kill him for killing his family, like a member of his family, then I don't think Batman's going to kill him for just crippling a member of his family. I mean, at that, like, okay, here's the thing with that one, with this one, it's like, this is the Joker. I can kind of understand, because like with Jason Todd, Jason was an idiot. He was an impulsive idiot. Yeah, no,
actually,
absolutely.
Actually, the more I think about it, he acts like fucking what's the name? Fucking Robert Pattinson Batman. He's just impulsive and constantly runs into the middle of bullshit. The more I think about it, but yeah, like he would have been a better Jason Todd. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Gubby. I'm sorry. But yeah, like he just
absolutely not Exeter.
No. The Crow.
No, they're different.
No, they're different.
They're
very different.
Very different.
Yeah, like especially Spawn. Like that's not even. No, like they were
so
they were in,
like,
they were like, I would say like Spawn was clearly like inspired by Batman.
Smug, you can unmute yourself at any point.
Oh yeah, my bad. Sorry, dude. There's just so much background bullshit. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just.
Sorry. Yeah, that's my grandparents. They can be kind of loud, but yeah.
Yeah, but I do see what you're saying, Slim, in that Jason was kind of like rushing headlong, and he really had no business being. He wasn't supposed to be there in the first place. Whereas in Barbara's case, Joker actively hunted her down.
Yeah, and again, he didn't just hunt her. He didn't just hunt her down. He wanted to kill. He didn't even try to kill her. He literally crippled her.
Just tried to break her.
Yeah, he just tried to. Not even. And the worst part is, he didn't even really try to break her. He tried to break Gordon. Like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't think he knew that she was Batgirl. I think he tried to break Gordon.
Yeah.
So her was a complete. She was a complete bystander to the situation. And ironically, it had nothing to do with Batman. Like he was after her father. Mm-hmm. So he wanted to break her. So he wanted to break him through her. So he shot her. Took her to the naked, kidnapped Gordon, stripped him naked, tried to make him go insane. Mm. And yeah, I think that's a bit more than, again, like Jason Todd running head first to a situation he shouldn't have been in the first place and getting himself killed. Again, that's just me. So yeah,
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Although massive props to Gordon, he didn't break, and that was pretty awesome.
He came close.
But in the end, he said he needs to do it by the book.
Yeah, and also, I hate how they made him like Jack the Ripper and Death Gotham by Gaslight. That was so weird. That was such a weird take.
I didn't hate it because, again, I know it's not accurate to Gotham by Gaslight, the comics, but I think it was just kind of an interesting take. That said, I did call the twist like 30 minutes in.
Oh yeah, because it was painfully obvious.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it was painfully obvious.
What the fuck? Stop trying to put Poison Ivy and stuff. Like I'm so fucking sick of Poison Ivy as a character. I legitimately hate her at this point, and I just want to stop seeing her.
I think she's fine. I just think people, like you said, it's just an oversaturation problem. They're desperately trying to make her a thing, and it's like.
Plus all the yassification of her just straight up murdering people. They're just like, yes, queen, fight for the environment. It's like, I know she's killing people. I'm sorry. There's a bit of a balance between that. If you want to stand somebody who's fighting for the environment, become a Swamp Thing fan. All right? Like
Swamp Thing's awesome. Like I want more Swamp Thing. He's awesome.
It's so cool. So actually, speaking of Swamp Thing, imagine Swamp Thing in a live action, voiced by James Earl Jones.
Okay, that could actually be pretty cool.
That would be good, but the problem is, James doesn't have much time left.
No, yeah, I know. This is. I know I mentioned my like sort of AU for a DC cinematic universe. That's who I sort of have headcanon does the Swamp Thing of that universe.
If you can't get him, you can get Keith David.
Yes.
Sorry.
That was all I was going to say.
That's who. Okay, I was thinking to myself, who the hell was playing Zipper in Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers? I think it was Keith David.
Huh. Okay then.
Zipper has a speaking role real fast. No. Oh, that's not man. Swamp Thing being voiced by Keith David. Oh yeah.
You know who else Keith David could probably do pretty well? Either Keith David or Clancy Brown, but Trigon.
Oh, that could be interesting.
I think Kevin Michael Richardson still nailed Trigon.
Oh yeah.
Okay. The guy, Clancy Brown is playing Talon. If he's still alive by the time I finish Callous Master, it goes animated.
I thought you said Keith David for Talon. Not Talon. Freaking, never mind. I'm retarded. Just
Keith David's Omen.
Yeah, Omen.
Can I bring in something to the whole thing? I want to kind of backtrack about the whole thing about the killing massages, everything like that, and with Poison Ivy and everything. One of the things that's been really bugging me about a lot of the things where with.
Oh, my bad.
Oh,
sorry. I was trying to. Sorry, that was my fault. My bad.
All right. Well, the fact that anytime you see someone that's like, that they're about to kill, and then we saw this at X-Men Green, we saw this with the Poison Ivy comic and the the young adult novel. We've seen this with Harley Quinn. Almost everyone they're going to kill almost has it coming because the guy basically is a rude jerk. They're misogynists. They're going to demolish their homes or something like that. It would be kind of interesting to have kind of like a monster ball moment. Not monster ball. It's a monster. It's monster. Like there was that one moment where like the one main protagonist was killing all these guys who were basically going to take her as a prostitute and kill her because or not kill her but she kills them because they're doing this awful stuff. But there's this one time where there's a genuinely good person who's trying to genuinely help her. And then she kills them anyway because she's just awful. Now that would be something kind of more interesting to see. Is them having an actual dilemma that they're.
Ah, crap! I did it again.
What are you trying to do?
No. Here's the thing. My mouse was over Jay's panel or whatever, right? And I accidentally keep pressing the space bar. My thumb keeps hitting the space bar and I'm looking stuff up. So it keeps taking go out. My bad, dude.
Jeez.
Oh. Okay, so I have to repeat the whole thing?
Yeah. No, not the whole thing, just the last 10 seconds.
I'll summarize it. Actually have them get to a point where they're either faced with someone who's actually a good person, not including Batman, but they kind of do something villainous. Because if every other case with Captain Marvel, they're a sexist pig, so of course they deserve to get hit. When it comes to the X-Men series, there's someone who's calling out Krakoa, but it's a guy, so of course he deserves to get his butt kicked. But what if it ends up being someone who is supposed to be like the good side or something like that? Like, would they actually attack them? Or what if they attack them, but they realize, oh, we're actually in the wrong anyways? Like, what are those more difficult or more complex situations? Because every other time they're complete cowards about it. And it'd be kind of interesting to see, them actually being called on their BS by someone who would potentially be on their side. I hope that makes sense.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, Burning Exeter. I'm a giant fuck up. All I do in life is fuck up.
No.
Did I fuck up again? Or
no, that's not that. That wasn't you. Just ignore it, son.
No, I'm just messing around. It's fine.
Okay. Eric Bana would have been really interesting, Batman. I know for my DC cinematic, I sort of headcanon Ben Barnes for Batman.
Keanu Reeves for Batman.
Nice.
Batman's one of those characters that, like, you could pick literally any actor, and I'd be sort of curious to see how they would do Batman. Like, there'd be some way to make it make sense for any actor. Like, Batman, to me, is one of the most versatile characters in existence.
Robert Pattinson, like, would play a good Bat. I just don't think that the Batman was. Like, I don't think the Batman was a good portrayal of Batman. It's just me, though.
I think it was.
That again, it's opinions.
Absolutely is.
That's fine. Well, what else?
I thought it was just okay.
Like, I'm not gonna say it's like the worst movie I ever saw in my life, or it's like a terrible bad. It's just like the first movie I watched in a while. I was like, wow, that was dumb. That was a dumb movie.
Yeah, that's I'm kind of the opposite. Like, I'm not going to I'm not going to say it was like the greatest movie I've ever seen, but I thought it was like a really good one.
Yeah, that's like we can both agree. Like, it's not the worst and it's not the best. Like, that's something we have common ground on.
Yeah.
I remembered Little Caesars used to do this promotion called the Batman Calzone, and I missed that. I fucking love this calzone, and they don't serve it anymore.
They did the Batman like about 2 months ago when the Batman movie was coming out. They did the Batman pizza with like it was
Batman calzone.
Yeah,
it was on all. It was literally every other commercial on YouTube.
It was really good. I had it twice.
All right, the calzone, and they don't make the calzone anymore. Bring back the calzone. They had it before the Batman movie.
Okay, I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting late. I'm tired. I got the day off tomorrow, so I'm probably gonna spend all day tomorrow just drawing Batman shit. So look out for that.
Nice.
Well, it was fun having you guys on here tonight. Thanks for everyone who watched the stream, and just remember that I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman. Okay, see you guys later.
All right, see you, Slim.
Good night.
See you, everybody.